Here we go, back up to a restart. Quickly, let's go over the overtime rules. We're about to go back green, but we get 2 laps, a green lap, a white lap, and then checkered. If the green lap is completed, the race is official. If the green lap is not completed, we re-rack and restart, and we do it all over again. After all 3 attempts are used, a caution can end the race. Here we go, green flag back in the air. We are racing again here at California. Already contact there with Joe Lawrence. He's trying to hang on. He pedals the car, but it holds up Noah Rainwater. Out front is Vicente Salas, and it is Lane Riggs.
A heck of a save by Joe Lawrence as they are single file. Riggs and Salas duking it out, trying to do what they can to fight each other for this win. Riggs is trying to find a way around on the top side, but as they come around, it's going to be white flag in the air, presented by Whiplash Sim Cams. We are going to make this race official, and we're going to finish it on my favorite number. White flag is in the air. Riggs underneath Salas for the lead.
For the lead and the win here at Auto Club Speedway, Lane Riggs finally gets down to the inside of Vicente Salas through turns 1 and 2. Can he hold on to it? Side by side still down the back straightaway.
Riggs is going to do everything he can, but he's by himself. He's not going to have the drafting help as Slow is up top, trying to decide who he's going to push. The nose in front goes to Riggs. Slow goes to the bottom.
Big send from Slow. He's going to move up the racetrack now. Brandon Slow driving Lane Riggs to the wall. It's going to be a straight-up drag race down to the stripe. Who's going to get there first? It's going to be, I don't know. Vicente Salas, I think, has done it again.
What a finish!
Wow.
What a run to the end by these drivers. Officially, Salas gets it, and Slow and Riggs tie 17 one-thousandths of a second behind Salas.
From the sunshine of Florida to the usually sunny skies of Southern California, we're set for 150 laps at the now demolished Auto Club Speedway that was very much alive back in 2005. We'll be racing into the 200-mile-per-hour range into Turn 1 tonight, and drivers will have their hands full for all 300 miles around this D-shaped 2-mile oval. Welcome to Pit Stop TV in the virtual Fontana, California. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV with Zach Murtis alongside, and it's a pleasure to join you for coverage of the California 300 tonight. Tonight's coverage is brought to you by Harpoon Designs, by NORA, and by Whiplash Sim Cams. And Zach, I'm excited for this. Of course, we loved everything about what this series had to offer a week ago at the Daytona International Speedway. The older, bumpier, and in my opinion, better version thereof. Now we're here at a somewhat more current racetrack on the NASCAR calendar. This scan is at least close. It's the same configuration and everything that they raced on most recently, but it's been off the schedule since 2023 and, well, is now mostly demolished. It's unfortunate, but Auto Club Speedway is a thing of the past, and it is a relic now on iRacing.
That it is, and you hate to see it because Auto Club has been a huge staple in stock car racing. I think this has been, you know, one of the more consistent tracks that fans have ultimately agreed that the racing is really good here. We've seen fans shift between racing not being good, racing being good at certain particular tracks, but this track has always been very consistent on being very high on the fans' radar for best racing overall in the season, and, you know, I don't disagree. Auto Club has produced, it continues to produce here on the iRacing.com sim, and I'm happy to say that we are going to be showcasing it here tonight with these guys.
And of course, with the track details and stuff out of the way, we can take a look at a couple of different graphics this evening before we go racing tonight. Of course, first up, the car specs graphic, if you will. Zach, we are in the 2003 NASCAR Cup cars. We wanted to have this last week for Daytona, but we have it here this evening and the rest of the way through the season. We have got the 2003 NASCAR Cup cars, full 900 horsepower engines, not restricted like they are these days on these intermediates. I mean, everything you could want out of a NASCAR Cup car is here in these 2003 NASCAR Cup cars. We are maybe slightly outdated for 2005, I guess. I mean, technically these cars had a couple more facelifts and, you know, some template changes by 05, but it's still pretty close. It's the same general formula, and certainly pays homage to a time that is now bygone. And we can take a quick look at the standings coming into tonight. Of course, we've only had one race to get going with these guys, Zach, but you can at least see it is that older kind of points format. Hunter Sr. up top at 185 points. We will, of course, take 12 for the chase. I believe it might be 10. If it's 10, we'll get corrected and we'll move on. But that's a look at the standings coming into this evening, where everybody breaks down. Of course, it's race 1. Well, I guess race 2 here tonight, but only one race in the books, so still a long ways to go, Zach. But I will say, Hunter Sr. might be joining the front of the field here for the grid. Zach, we can get into the sim here and take a look at the ATVO starting grid. And first off, you'll notice it is foggy. It is overcast a little bit. It is not at all what the B-roll looked like there, but that's just how it goes in sim sometimes. Let's go ahead and go through your ATVO starting grid tonight at California. Kenneth Chaney on pole in the 14 car. Didn't see much of him at Daytona last week, but his teammate Hunter Sr., who won at Daytona, he will start from the outside pole. Back in the inside of row number 2, it's Dalton Tucker. Kevin Baumler rolls off from 4th. Back in 5th will be Chase Durheim. In the 16, we saw a good bit of running from him at Daytona. Josh Conover, of course, was strong as well. Back to 7th, it's Matthew George in the 25. 8th, you get Jake Christenberry. And 9th and 10th, Ronnie Norman and Brady Moats.
Rolling outside the top 10, first one out, you'll find Ryan Hudson in that 33 car with Jacob Lajulich in the 20 car to his outside, rolling off 12. 13th behind them, you'll find Wayne Sparks in the 5. And John Skivnicki in the 38 car, rolling off in the 14th position. 15th on the starting grid tonight, you'll find Brad Fulham with Jared Skinner to his outside. That's going to be row number 8. Row number 9 is Kyle Taub and Kyle Rochelle in that number 15 car, and then Nick Jalesis and Chance Durheim in the 17.
Back in 21st, it's Kane Hoy in the 0-2, John Border from 22nd. 23rd spot, Logan Neal, Cody Smith from 24th. In 25th, that's Brian Jones in the 45 with Vincent Arthur alongside. Deep starting spot for him. He was strong at Daytona a week ago. Back in 27th, that's Cody Reeder. 28th, that's his teammate, Dustin Kleba. And to complete your top 30, Christopher Heights and Jeremy Rubin.
31st, you'll find Craig Martin, and 32nd, you'll find Nick Ham, and then 33rd on the starting grid tonight, you'll find Jason Steptoe and PJ Bozinski, and then 35th on the grid, Dominic Bettini, and Donald Kite to his outside in the 36th position. Rolling up behind them in the 37th position, you'll find LJ Hernandez with Joseph,
Andujar.
Yeah, Joseph Andujar III, and that should be your 38-car field, Andrew, as we get set to roll. Pace cars off.
We've got a little more to talk about as the race gets going, but for now, we are set to go racing. 300 miles in Southern California, cloudy skies, we're racing at the Auto Club Speedway. That is a sight to behold. 2003 NASCAR Cup cars on every lane of pavement. Auto Club, the 31, PJ Bozinski in trouble. He gets back on the racetrack. We continue. Turns 3 and 4 now for the race leaders. Kenneth Chaney out front. The 14 from Morgan McClure Motorsports is going to lead lap number 1.
Pulling it off, turn number 4. There's still a couple side-by-side battles throughout the field. There's a lot of side-by-side battles. We're 3 wide behind. Could be 4 wide or 5 wide back there in the midfield. Up front, though, we're starting to space out. This is how old Auto Club races in these cars. It's not necessarily draft-centric, but if you do lose that toe, you can be at a bit of a disadvantage. But you can easily get it back. It's multi-groove, it's old, as in old surface, and it's fun. It's so much fun as you see him racing down into turn 3.
Everybody using every inch of this racetrack right now to get around. It's only lap number 2. Contact behind, one on the wall. That's the 8, I think. Maybe. Is it Brady Motes? No, that's... Who was that in the wall? Logan Neal, the 97, hard in the outside fence.
The 97 Crown Royal Racing Machine.
Oh, he's not the only one stopped. Joseph Andujar's got trouble.
Oh my goodness. And
no caution here. LJ Hernandez also in trouble. I thought I saw the 6 slow. Hernandez switching over to 6 from the 84 last week, and the leaders continue on. Here they are off of turn number 4. You can barely see them, but I swear, they're off of turn 4 now, and they continue with no caution. Let's go back and take a look at what just happened to the 97. There he is at a turn 3. He's got the 17, the 19 around him, the 02, the 32.
You can see it all through the fog. Ooh,
Logan
a little bit
Neal.
of a checkup down on the bottom.
We're 4 wide for a moment.
Racing. Look at that in front of them. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there was a good bit of door banging there. Oh, I think I see how Andujar got into it.
Just a slight tap right there.
Caution's now out.
On the speedway.
Let's take a look here first at the replay for Joseph Andujar, then we're going to get right up to live picture. It seems like it's a pretty large incident. It's getting going here at California. Here's the replay we had queued up for Joseph Andujar.
Oh, just kicks it back to the right after making it by. And... oh, wow.
And then you see how Hernandez got into it as well. Straight up to live picture. Several cars are slow. John Border, it seems, is one of them. Here is the 28 of Nick Gillis. John Border is slow. He's got the wrong paint scheme on there, too. LJ Hernandez, of course, is slow. Logan Neal's in the pit lane. So really the big losers seem to be Nick Gillis and John Border. Oh, my. Craig Martin's got a bunch of damage. Kyle Tubb.
I saw the 24 was slow. I saw a couple of cars that were in the wall with hoods up. Couldn't identify the numbers. See the 10 with damage.
Oh, yeah, Arthur's got damage.
Left front damage.
Left rear, too. It's crinkled. Yeah, that is not going to go well for the 24 car at all. Let's go back and see what happened to these guys. As, oh, well, we got a slight preview on our side, but not on the stream side. Here it is. Watch the 24. That's Vincent Arthur. Trying to watch from above
right
here. A 42 to his inside. Cars slow ahead. Oh, man. And this is just the end of it. And then you see the 22. Wow. And they checked up behind. You see the 40. Well, what should be the 43 if Board will get into it. I know it's kind of whitewashed from the fog, but we're doing our best here. We'll get to weather conditions in just a moment. I'm not really sure where this started ahead, though.
Probably maybe, I think, 5 or 6 cars ahead.
We'll try around the 04. Let's see if this gives us better insight. This is a few rows up from the 24 car. This should at least show us... Oh, there's one... So, Christenberry, Housden, and one other. That's the 25 in the wall.
Oh, look at them scatter.
Wow. That's a much clearer picture.
Much, much so.
You see him stack up as a result here as well. The 21 does a great job down out of the way. Kite, fantastic job missing all of that.
That's a nomination for Murtis Esports Murtis Mega Miss.
So it starts up here with the 11. That's Christenberry. Norman gets into him. Christenberry slides down. He hangs on. I mean, he keeps going, and they all crash ahead.
Oh, they're just rolling into it. Look at all these cars passing them by, full steam ahead into the corner.
I mean, they're trying to make time. They're trying to get spots, but I mean, that's the result there of it. If you don't check up, you're liable to get included in that kind of crash, and boy, several cars do just that. Let's see this quick view from the 28, then come back up to live picture. We're about to get back racing. So here's Nick Geilis from Penske Racing. You see the 24 dive in underneath. That was, of course, Vincent Arthur. Nick got out of the throttle there as everything starts to pick up, and then here they are off into turn number 3. It gets crazy quick.
There's nowhere to go. I hate to see it for Nick, because Nick actually sent me a message before the race even started. He decided to send me a preview of his scheme that he has on that race car that is reminiscent of Penske, but also he said is based off of the style that is present in NASCAR Racing 2004. So I'd hate to see it for him, because it's a really nice scheme. It complements the styles of it well, and I think he was poised for a good run, and you hate to see how his runs come to an end so early on in the race.
And we have refresh trading paints. It does seem there's a couple of cars that maybe are not loading or don't have paint schemes on them tonight. Those being the 14 of Kenneth Chaney, the 3 of Dalton Tucker, and then I think I noticed one as well a little further back. I don't recall specifically who, but I did refresh trading paints in the session, trying to get all of these loaded, but it seems like a couple don't want to load or something's going on with them. I do want to take a quick look at weather conditions, though. Here we go, the MX Reps weather conditions. There you see, overcast skies here, 95% humidity, definitely foggy out there on the racetrack here tonight. 66 degrees in the air, 71 on track. It is going to be, I think, a day where these guys can make the tires last a little bit longer than they might otherwise, but they've got to still be careful over the course of any long runs. Here we go to begin lap number 8 into the restart zone. Here we go from the fan cam at California. You see Hernandez at number 6 going backwards on the bottom. Everybody getting fanned out across the racetrack, Zach. Single file towards the front. Of course, it was a single file restart. And we haven't even taken a look at the weather conditions, or not the weather conditions, the Whiplash SimCam's race details yet. Here they are, 150 laps, 300 miles, 77% fuel out there tonight, 10 change sets of tires, some drivers already using their first change set, fixed setups, single file restarts, as you just saw, unlimited green, white, and checkers, no fast fixes, and already, Zach, off this single file restart, I like the 16. Durham, he looked really good there at the start, and the 16 did good victory lane here in 2005. He has got speed.
He does. To the inside, Durham trying to take the lead away from the 14 of Chaney. He's going to have a good run on corner exit, but that high side is just so powerful here at Auto Club Speedway to the line. Cheney's going to have the lap led. But they're still door-to-door going down into turn number 1. Chase. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Chase goes quickest, takes the lead away. 14's rolling back up on the bumper. Big run off of 2.
Good move there by Cheney to cross him back over, get down to the inside. See the bump, step the back straightaway. Cheney pulls back ahead. Durheim back to his door. It's only lap 10. These guys are racing really staunchly for the race lead. He's going to bring the 3 car back into it. Tucker starting to get a run. But this time, it'll be Chase Durheim at the line, representing very proudly in that number 16.
I think we all love seeing that number 16 car out in front. I would be amiss to think that there would be someone who wouldn't want this car out in front right now with just what we've experienced over the off season, and it's a really nice sight to see. And he's starting to build a gap right now, Durheim, as Tucker has now come into the mix for the second spot. Closing in on that 14 car, they snake down the front straightaway, and you can see the gap that the top 3 have to Conover in the 4th position.
On board with Dalton Tucker into turn number 1. See him point right down to that white line, arc down nicely, slowly get back in the gas. And there goes Cheney sliding it. Oh, contact into the 3. Caution. Watch out, everybody. Oh my gosh, they're crashing in the background. The 2 in the air. Vincent Arthur plowing through them.
That's some big, heavy hits right there.
They're not done. Oh my goodness. Vincent Arthur is done.
That is 2 weeks in a row. The 24 car has exited the racetrack early.
This is undoubtedly worse than last week, though.
Up-and-coming ARCA driver spending his time here on the sim and in that number 24 car made famous by Jeff Gordon. And there you see another car made famous by Rusty Wallace, Kurt Busch. That's Christopher Heights limping it back to the pit lane.
Jason Steptoe also involved. You saw, of course, the 14 of Cheney as he crashed into the number 3 of Dalton Tucker, who's also undoubtedly going to have massive effects out of all of this. Let's go back and see how this starts up. Of course, we saw it with the 14 and the 3 at the line. Not at the line, out of turn 2, rather. I don't think Tucker even put any contact on him or any air on him in a weird way. No. Cheney just got loose off the corner, overcorrects, boom, slams the 3 in the fence. Then everybody tries to go south to miss it, and they were crashing behind. Wow.
I don't think that was related to the 14 going around.
I don't think so.
That might have been a separate incident.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let's check it out then for the 2 car of Christopher Heights. Racing with the 31 of PJ Bazowski. He checked up for Chance Durheim and then got loose himself.
Oh, huge hit right there.
And wow, Vincent had nowhere to go.
I mean, they all locked it down. They did a great job to hang on to it, but, you know, you can just kind of see how it all played out. Down on the bottom, up in the pack, you can see it, left-hand side of your screen. There's the spinning. Locked it down too late at that point. Nowhere to go, no steering control on the 24 after the first hit, so nothing that could be done.
And for the 0-1 here, he was right behind us as it got started. The 91, I believe that was Kleba, he got into him. Or no, it's Fulham rather than the 91. And that sent the 0-1 around. The 0-1, of course, Jason Steptoe.
And Steptoe almost walked away from it relatively clean until Vincent Arthur came into the picture. You can see that 0-1 still in the pit lane, and
look at this.
The race off pit road.
Everybody has pitted just about. Donald Kite first off the pits, but first with 4 tires, that will be the number 16 of Chase Durheim. Josh Conover follows, Dustin Kleba 3rd, Ronnie Norman 4th, and Hunter Sr. 5th off the pit lane with 4 tires. Actually, the 9, Dustin Kleba has actually taken 2 tires, it looks like. And Zach, let's not forget, these guys have 10 change sets.
I mean, yeah, but like, there's a change set every 15 laps.
And here we are, it's lap 14.
Well, still, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And
they're on pace. I think certainly as this race goes on, we will likely put them out there for a little longer than 14 laps. I don't think it's a bad call now. If they run 15 more and take tires again, then I hear you.
Well, it's not a Pit Stop TV broadcast without Andrew and I differing over race strategy.
Well, we took a look at points. We haven't taken a look yet at the schedule here for this season. We've done so, of course, last week at Daytona, but take a look at it here. 150 laps to open up these first two races of the season. Next week, we go for 160 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I'm excited for that one. That'll be just under 200 miles, I believe, or just under 250. Yeah, just under 250, I think. Regardless, Las Vegas, always a great racetrack to hit up early in the season. Atlanta then right after, and then a couple of short tracks at Bristol and Martinsville, back to Texas. I shouldn't say back to Texas, back to an intermediate at Texas, and yes, I'm excited for Martinsville as well. Phoenix will be a lot of fun. Talladega, I'm excited for, obviously. Darlington, I think Darlington might be my favorite racetrack on the calendar for the season for sure, and we'll only be going there once, as I believe the second, or was it only one Darlington race? I don't know. Regardless, only going there once here in the spring of this year, and Zach will have a special graphic to take a look at once these guys get back to racing, but for now, Chance Durham has stayed out. He did pit on the previous caution. It was a 4-tire change. Donald Kite took fuel only. He'll restart second. Everybody else is lined up behind. Here we go. Restart zone once again for the NORA Retro Cup Series, 10% of the way through here at California. Gotta love those single file restarts, Zach. Everybody already spread out. Gives these guys a chance to race. It's not just a land rush into the corner. There's definitely a place for single file restarts, and it's right here in these kinds of series. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never been the best in single file restarts. I'm pretty sure I said that last week too. they do have their nostalgic appeal as the racers take on by the flag stand one more time, and Durham is starting to get a bit of a lead out there. Both the Durhams up in the top 3 right now.
And Josh Conover did drop out before we went back green. He dropped out due to connection issues, and he is working to get back into the race as soon as possible. But for right now, the 48 sidelined in the pit lane. He's loading back in, actually. He just got back in the car. There he goes. So Conover hitting the racetrack. He is 2.5 laps down. Here's the leaders off of 4. They just might run him down a little bit more. Hopefully he's got new tires in that 48 car and can get back after it, but it's certainly going to hold him back as 4 Fords lead here at California. Battle for second, Durham down low.
First car 1 lap down, so Conover's got that playing into his favor as 16 of Durham goes quickest, and it's a C Durham 1 and 2 right now.
Kite doing a good job of hanging on to a decent spot here off the restart, but is starting to slide back. The first Chevrolet is Ronnie Norman. He sits back in 5th. Then it's Braden Boats in 6th in the number 8 with Hunter Sr., Daytona race winner from last week. He runs in the 7th spot. There is a driver. I see what's happened here. Okay. The number. This is going to throw me off a little bit, because now I can't find Housden. But to call attention to what I'm trying to talk about here, Kyle Rochelle has moved over from the Penske number 77 to the Penske number 12. And that, of course, was piloted by Ryan Newman back in the day. And there you see him. He's running up in the top 10. This seems like a good switch already. The 12 ran up front a lot in the Cup Series in these days. He gets loose there off of turn 4. That's okay. Rochelle still in the top 10. I think it's going to be cool to see that 12 car now towards the front a lot this season. He's already off to a really, really good start here. He is scored in the sim as number 15, which makes me wonder where Housden is going to be. That's kind of what I was talking about to myself there for a moment. But it is good to see Rochelle doing well for himself so far as Chase Durheim has those new tires. Zach, he's running his brother down.
Up on the back bumper, trying to roll that top side. Seeing what can potentially happen up there. He's got the run. Side by side, the brothers taking it to the start-finish line. At the line.
I can tell you it was Durheim.
Yeah, obviously. But it was Chase Durheim at the line who got that lap led. Chance Durheim on the bottom. I'm going to have such a fun time not confusing them throughout the season. Chase up top, Chance down low, but now they're single file racing. We got one car out of shape off of turn number 2. That's a big, big catch right there.
That was Baumler. He catches his car, gets back after it down here in turn 3. And he'll get passed up by the 04 and the 42, it looks like. Cody Smith trying to roll the outside. He will do so. So Chase Durheim leading here at California. 21 laps in out of 150. Let's take a look at the graphic I was talking about. This is our very first time that our power rankings here at Pit Stop TV have a partner along with them. It's the Clark Contracting Power Rankings this season of the NORA Retro Cup Series, and Hunter Sr. is your power rankings leader. Now, to be absolutely clear, we know that after just 1 week of racing, especially at Daytona, these don't mean a whole lot. But I will say I am very impressed to see Hunter Sr. running as strong as he is, Zach, in the top 10, has been as high as second. That's where he started today. The 4 car looks pretty good.
That he does. I think he's showing some good speed, and you know, we've said it before, we'll say it again, Daytona is not always the best at showcasing where these guys are going to be running throughout the season, because it's super speedway racing. It can benefit anybody and anyone at any time. Whereas we are now getting into more nitty-gritty racetracks, more driver-style racetracks. You've got tracks, this one like Auto Club, that really take a hounding on the tires. It's something that is a very niche type of track to run. We're coming up on short tracks and more intermediate-style racetracks, so we might see different drivers running up towards the front. But to go from a super speedway to what is technically another super speedway, but more of an intermediate style as well, and still see Senior in the top 10, it's really good, and it's a great indicator of what we might see moving forward through the season.
So Senior certainly one to watch. Josh Conover, I think, as well, will be when he's not having connection difficulties running in 30th 2 laps down. Kevin Baumler in the top 10, at least for a little while there, until he had his catch off of turn 2, as Rochelle nearly gets up into Senior, and Motes grabs the wall. Dalton Tucker, of course, was doing great until his run in there at the 14 of, Kenneth Chaney, that's who it is. Chase Durheim obviously looks fantastic. He's leading the race. Vincent Arthur, I think, will be really good later on this season when he's not having trouble here at Auto Club Speedway. I think a lot of these drivers certainly show a lot of promise. Even guys like Jacob Gladgelich, Ronnie Norman, Brandon Jackson, Kyle Rochelle. Look at that. In the top 10 of the power rankings, and he's here in the top 10 on the racetrack as well. I think Rochelle will be fun to watch. At least he was. There we go. Yeah, he's 9th. Him being scored in the 15 car is throwing me off, Zach, but we'll get through it. That's the first look at your Clark Contracting power rankings this season. And Zach, I'm noticing the gap for first is starting to come down a little bit. Kleba did win this race apparently, or maybe no. I'll have to check my facts on that. Regardless, I know Josh Conover told me he would be good here tonight, and he'd be one to watch. And sure enough, Dustin is looking really, really good in that 9 car, running second, and it's starting to chip into that lead of Durheim.
Chipping into that lead is very, very clear. I think as the run goes on now, we're going to see how these different strategies play out. You got to remember that Chase Durheim is on fresh tires. He pitted under the last caution. Chance Durheim, who pitted under the first caution on lap 7, he is now falling back to 4th. He's about 2 seconds off the lead. So we're starting to see that take effect. I can see where your mentality was on the strategy call on lap 14 to take those tires. I still like the call to hang on to a set. I like where everyone's currently running. I think realistically, we're still seeing where the skill level is at for being on different tire strategies. Getting tongue-tied tonight. I think going into this run, this fuel run, we'll still be in a good spot for a lot of these guys.
Watch on board here with the 9 car, and he's doing a good job for himself. These two might be ones to watch, and oh, did you see that off of turn 2, Zach? Chase got a little free. The rear end stepped out. He left 11s down the road, but that's what I love about these race cars. Yeah, you never heard that?
No.
Yeah.
11s down the road?
That's what it's called when you leave tire marks, when you do a burnout. Oh. They're called 11s.
Oh.
Yeah. I promise I'm not crazy. I know this is a thing. Regardless, he left tire marks out of turn 2. That's what I was trying to get at. Left rubber there on the corner of the racetrack, but you see 4 Fords in the top 5. Ronnie Norman, the one exception right now. And you know, Zach, I'll be honest. Nothing against Robbie Gordon. He had a decently successful NASCAR career for what it's worth. And is certainly a successful race car driver in his own right. But he was not this fast, I feel like, at Auto Club Speedway in 2005. Here he is in 3rd. Ronnie Norman driving the number 7 this season. This is cool to see. We're going to see some paint schemes in some places we didn't typically see them back in 05, and this is one of them.
I never even remember seeing this paint scheme, to be perfectly honest.
The West Coast races, Las Vegas, California, Phoenix.
My days of watching Robbie Gordon were spent in the Richard Childress number 31. You know, ruffling a couple of feathers. My biggest memory, I'll say, of watching a race that had Robbie Gordon in it in the 31 car was when he was duking it out with Jeff Gordon at the New Hampshire race that got postponed due to the 9/11 terrorist attacks and had to be run later in the season. I know there was some ruffled feathers, even though Gordon had already won the championship at that point. But at the same time, this is one of the things that I love about this series that we get to broadcast on Monday nights. It brings out a lot of nostalgia in us. There's so many memories that were popping up. I know we brought up quite a few at Daytona last week, and one thing that I like to see is that Budweiser number 8 right there running in the 5th position.
Yeah, Brady Motes cracking the top 5. He dispatches of the Ford that was ahead. That is the 21 of Donald Kite, who's now fallen back to 8th. Might be 9th here in a moment. Kite is getting run into there by the 42. Wow. Cody Smith got his rear tires off the ground there and is still trying to find a way by. Here we go. Turns 1 and 2 for these guys.
From the top side, he's going to have a really good run beyond the quarter panel. Is the space going to be left for the 42? And it will be.
Battle ahead. Hunter Sr. down low. Chance Durheim has now been passed up. He drops back down to 6th. And Hunter Sr. will pass the 8 car of Brady Motes, at least for a moment. They're not done.
Here they come back on the top side. Big run down the straightaway. Hunter Sr. is all by himself. He's going to have to throw that car down there into turn 1 if he wants to even try to get in front of the 8. Big lunge down to the white line. Way up to the top side these guys go. They'll have the exit speed off of turn number 2, but is Senior going to clear? He might, he won't.
Staying side by side, 2 Chevrolets in battle. It is lap 33. These guys have now gone their longest stint green flag so far tonight. So this is kind of uncharted territory for everybody in that regard, at least for this season. Of course, these guys did run these cars last season a good bit. I believe they were released in time for the March races. I believe is when these cars hit the sim. I could be slightly mistaken, but regardless, they had experience in these cars, just not yet this season. And obviously, iRacing is always working on the sim and always working on the cars on the sim. So maybe a thing or two is slightly different as we start to wear these tires out just a little bit. Dustin Kleba is now just about a half second, though, back of our race leader, Chase Durheim. The 9 car is staying very, very well disciplined down low, Zach. I like to see this.
So do I, and I like seeing Kleba run that inside line down the straightaways, at least through the start-finish line, just to get some clean air on that nose, some further clean air on that nose. The dirty air is a little bit lesser effective on the nose of these race cars the further behind a car you are. And as you look at the lap times down below at the bottom of your screen, they are relatively close together, within 0.03 of a second. Of course, Chase Durheim has about a full tenth, just a little bit more in terms of best lap, but you can see the space between them ticking further and further down. And as they roll past the line here, Andrew, let's see what the laps were. Once again, Kleba was a 5.7 and Chase was a 6.1.
Kleba's time even got faster once it finalized, a 40.553. Durheim's 40.617. You can see he is taking chunks out of that lead lap after lap. They are battling pretty good behind, though, so we got to turn our attention back to that for third on back. Look at this. Hunter Sr. on the outside now of Brady Moats. Ronnie Norman just behind. Battle for third, fourth, and fifth. They've brought Cody Reeder along with them as Chance Durheim and Cody Smith battle in the background. Great racing here in California. They're loose, though. Moats was all over the racetrack there.
This is a flip of what it was 3 laps ago. We saw Moats in front of Senior, and now we're 3 wide behind for the 4th spot. For the 5th spot, excuse me. No, for the 4th spot. Norman takes it on the bottom. Crossover move to the bottom line. We're going to be 3 wide again off of turn 2. The 19 of Reeder takes it by. Moats still on the inside, hanging tough, gets clear of the 7. And from what I'm hearing, we've got pit stops underway potentially soon. I heard the 17 call out that he will be heading to the box over the radio.
And he did, of course, stay out under that last caution. These guys can go about 29 to 30 laps on a tank. He's been out there for 31 now, including the caution laps. This makes sense to see Chance have to pit a little bit earlier here. These guys now that are running and pitted under the last caution, it took fuel. They've got about 5-6 more laps before they have to hit the pit lane.
Looking at our race control scoring monitor, no black flag for the 17. So Chance Durheim makes it to the security of his pit box. He's got right sides up. Do we see left sides going up?
Oh, I think certainly 4 tires every stop here under green. These guys have 77% fuel, so they're running, 3/4 of a fuel run. I think certainly we'll see every time 4 tires.
Well, this is going to hurt Conover, who's 2 laps down at the moment, still in the 29th position. We've got 2 cars that are 1 lap down at the moment as the green flag stops start to cycle through. So you've got Kenneth Cheney, who is 1 lap down. You've got Conover, who's 2 laps down. You've got Chance, who's 1 lap down. This is on board with Kleba, who has reeled that leader in the gap under 2/10, and
he's pitting.
He's staying on the bottom. He's pitting.
Dustin going to come on in. Just makes it down to pit speed, it looks like. It was aggressive. Cody Smith going to follow in the 42 car. Here he is into the pit lane. And that's going to bring the 3 of Dalton Tucker along with. The 90, or no, here we go. Problems. On the racetrack, the 0-1 of Steptoe. And he's not the only one. Well, there's this 45 on the pit lane. That's Brian Jones. But Steptoe has got some major issues, a lot of damage to that 0-1.
That's some hefty damage on the
I wonder,
that 0-1.
Is this a result of somebody trying to pit? No. The 31 of Bazowski got the 88. And the 88 is going to be Nick Ham. So as pit stops get going, here's one more replay of what just happened here. The 31 of PJ Bazowski didn't start Daytona last week. Here's his onboard, just gets up into the 88 of Ham, and poor old Dale Jarrett.
Heck of a save, though.
Yeah, just really going to hurt that 0-1 car of Steptoe. It's another week, another issue for him as there's a caution out. Kyle Rochelle's in the pit lane. Bazowski as well. Steptoe is slow.
5-car around.
Wayne Sparks. Yep.
Here in contact between the 81 and the 5. This is going to hurt a lot of people under the green flag stops. This is going to really change things up. We've got 20 cars on the lead lap at the moment.
And it sounds like there's a couple of drivers saying it's their night over. Let's see what happened here between Baumler and Sparks. Sparks was loose. Baumler got into him. And there you see Sparks off to the inside. Didn't seem like it was that big of a deal, but it seems like there was a larger issue for another driver in the background. So let's see this one more time for Sparks in the 5 car. Let's back this up. Here we go. He was already getting loose. Then Baumler nowhere to go. Glad at least that they got down to the inside and it wasn't a spin in the middle of the racetrack, though.
Absolutely. Very isolated incident, so that way nobody's really going to get otherwise involved in that mix, but it all works out.
We want to see what happened here to the 6 car of LJ Hernandez. Here is driver number 6. It looks like he was towards the back end of the lead lap. A little bit off the pace and had a moment here in turns 3 and 4. Got in the wall there. Got in the wall some more.
Gets the wall again.
And I think it might have broke. And he just pulled off and towed. Pit stops. Here we go. Zach Gladulich going to stay out, but Durham and everybody else comes on in. Into their boxes. Reeder is in. Everybody else going to follow. Oh, LJ Hernandez says the base for his wheel broke. Oh, man. Oh. That is awful news.
You hate to see it. That is heartbreaking. Got a couple of cars up on the jack. I'm assuming a couple of cars stayed out to take their waiver rounds as the race off pit road. Durham is going to win that race off the pit road in that 16 car. That's Chase Durham. Chase. Oh, I told you I was going to start confusing them.
Chase certainly is a favorite for me already. If he's running like this out the gate on the intermediates, he's already mirroring the speed that Greg Biffle had back in the day on these intermediates, such as Auto Club, Michigan, Homestead. So when we hit those racetracks as well, I expect the 16 to be good at those places too, but obviously time will tell. You know, every driver is a little bit different. He might really enjoy Auto Club, maybe not be so good at the other two, so we'll see what happens, but already Chase Durham is on my list of drivers to watch for the rest of the season. And for Jacob Gladulich, he is staying out. He has not pitted now he's going to pit. And this is what he used to do back in the Icon Cup Series, Zach. He would stay out, pit at the end of the caution, have a little more fuel in the tank, and line up towards the rear. I think he just likes to kind of sit back and do his own thing.
I'm not opposed to it, though. I like seeing drivers stay out, get those bonus points, and try to get any point they really can. It's a tactic that drivers will use when they're having a bad day, when they're not closer to the front and they need to get those points. It's like you talk about constantly just maximizing the points as much as you can. It's what we see in the BRB Sundance Pro Series, where they need to maximize stage points early on, especially in their 5-race chase, which we'll be getting into tomorrow at Watkins Glen. But you know, I love seeing it. I love seeing these strategy calls.
And Jacob now confirming as well in the YouTube chat, this is also a play at the lap lead bonus. So this gets him a lap lead, a bonus point, or is it 5 at this time? I'm not really sure. Is it 5 bonus points?
Bonus was 5. It was, hold on, if I remember correctly, it was 1 point for leading a lap. It was 5 points for leading the most laps. No, yes, no.
There's a great way to find out. Google is free. Let's find out. Yeah, we'll do that in the background and refresh our memories.
Well, you can Google search if you'd like to, because I did the Google search last time.
Yeah, I'm already working on it. But while we take a look and refresh our memories of NASCAR point systems back in the day, here we go. Restart zone coming up. 3 cars down low, a lap down. The rest of the field up top into the restart zone. 44 will be complete. Just over 100 to go in Southern California, racing once again in the NORA Retro Cup Series. Caution already, problems in the back. Kyle Rochelle, one's flipping.
Oh!
That was Dalton Tucker, the 3 car.
Tucker. That's a heavy, heavy incident for the 3 car. And that is more than likely going to be his day done. Not seeing any meatball flags from Race Control.
Well, let's see what happened here. Here's the 3 car. We don't really know where it started. It started with Rochelle. Got the right side, and wow, Tucker, that is a wild ride.
That's a huge ride for the 3 car.
And he just kept rolling like nothing ever happened. So let's see here. Let's see what happened to the 12. Let's go on board. He was checking up, trying to get going. Single file restarts. Hung up between gears. And I think Kyle Rochelle might be a little more patient next time coming to a restart. He was... Let's back up a little further. I want to set the stage here. Let's go on board with him. Back into the line. He's trying to get going. I get it. You want to get up on it, but let's be honest. He's back here south of 20th. I just don't know that we need to be on the gas, on the brakes, on the gas, on the brakes. And this is the result of it. I know you want to go. It's single file. Yeah, you just need to be patient. When the car ahead of you goes, go. You know, you don't have to game the whole restart system. I think that's a learning moment maybe for Kyle to just be a little more relaxed next time. But Zach, this is going to be a wild ride. Here we go. On board, Dalton Tucker.
Punches low to try and miss it, and oh my goodness.
Oh man. We need to get some kind of group invested here for the wildest ride of each race, whether it's a crash or spin or whatever. I mean, look at this from the pits. This is wow. About as crazy as it gets at a place like Auto Club. I want to get one more look at it here. I don't even know what camera to go with. I mean, this is just... Let's go fan cam. Wow. I can confirm, Zach, as we get one more look. I can't get enough of this crash, unfortunately, for Dalton Tucker's sake, but as we get a look at this one more time, the lap lead bonus was in fact 5 points back in 2005, so it should be here as well, I would think. That is just incredible.
I'm just stunned right now. I mean, that's gotta be one of the top 10 crashes we've seen so far this year on Pit Stop TV, and you know, we've never really done any compilations or anything of top 10 moments on Pit Stop TV throughout the year, which might be something cool we could start doing, but if we ever do it, that is going to be on the list right now.
Start the list. Go ahead. Start the spreadsheet. We'll start adding to the list, but Chase Durham going to lead us back around. We're going to give it a shot here this time. Josh Conover, still a lap down. He is one of a few cars that are still running while one lap down. One of a couple of cars anyways. The other being Kenneth Chaney, who is trying to get back up to the field. Brian Jones off the pit lane here, going to pull around to the back end, and looks like we should be going this next time around. And
Tucker, great job by the 3 car to stay
He's
on
rolling.
the lap right now.
Wow.
He's rolling. I mean, he didn't have a meatball flag, Andrew. He's got some damage, but he's going to get that car fixed as best he possibly can and keep that car on the racetrack for some points.
That's unbelievable. The iRacing pit crew needs a raise. That is incredible.
Keeps it on the lead lap, puts the bumper back on the car. There you see the 48 back in it. Our pole sitter still 1 lap down. He's still in this mix, Andrew. The pace car is going to make that hard left turn onto the pit lane. The green flag in the hands of Barney the flagman into the restart zone, and we are back. Green flag racing here at Auto Club.
Josh Conover in that 48 is not for the race lead. He runs back in the 28th spot currently. Neither is that red 14 on the inside, Kenneth Cheney. And Hunter Sr. going to go down low of Conover, try to pass that 48 car. And put him in the rearview mirror, but so far it's not going to happen.
We've got 2 lap cars up here. We've got Cheney and we've got Conover. One of them is 1 lap down, the other is 2 laps down. But the free pass position, should the next caution come out, would go to that 14 car. Conover trying to get at least 1 lap back the hard way, and he is going to try to run down that number 16 car of Chase Durheim. See if he can't catch up to him, maybe get one of those back the hard way. Hunter Sr. up to second. Brady Moats into that 3rd spot. Reeder, Skinner, Kite, Christenberry, after spinning early on in the race, he's into the 7th spot. Then it's Norman, excuse me, Palmer and Hudson. Houston, you're top 10.
It'd be Houston back there in the DEI number 15. Scored as the 33 this evening, but running the 15 car. Just ahead of John Skavnicki. We haven't really gone through a whole lot of the field yet this evening, Zach. There is Skavnicki in the Robert Yates number 38 car. Teammate to the number 88 that we saw in trouble earlier on. Jeremy Rubin, a new addition to the series today, actually, I believe. And he has taken over driving duties for the Penske Racing number 77. That was vacated by Kyle Rochelle, as Rochelle transitioned over to the number 12 car. Brad Fulham running the 91 this season that Bill Elliott ran back in 2005. Kane Hoy running the number 02 that has become a Penske operation, it looks like.
That's my number.
There's Nick Ham in the 88, teammate to Skavnicki. Kyle Tubb in the number 32. He runs back here currently in 16th spot. Of course, running... I don't recall who ran the 32 back at 05, actually. I know Ricky Craven made it famous with the win at Darlington, but he's ahead of Dustin Kleba back here in the 9. That was, of course, occupied at the time by Casey Kane. Dominic Pettini in the number 10. That's a cool paint scheme. I will say, Brady Moats, we need to see the 3 doors down paint scheme if it applies this season. If you know, you know. Wayne Sparks runs back here in the 5 car in 19th spot. And Cody Smith battling with Chance Durheim, actually, for 20th. They get it figured out. One in the wall. It's Dominic Bettini. No, it was the 42 of Cody Smith. Smith falls back to 22nd spot. That allows Jacob Gladgelich to go through for the 21st position. Kyle Rochelle runs back here in 23rd. Brian Jones, 24th. PJ Bazowski and Dalton Tucker will wrap up your lead lap currently, as Kenneth Cheney has a front row seat to all of the fighting in the front of the field, Zach. Let's catch back up here. He's running behind the 38, who runs 11th, and there is a lot of busy work happening ahead. Reeder has got by Moats for now. And here comes Skinner, Jared Skinner. No, rather that's Christenberry on the inside of Skinner. We have not really seen these guys yet this season, whether it was Daytona last week or Auto Club here today. But Christenberry cracks the top 5, looking for 4th now on the inside of Moats. And Jared Skinner is just kind of here for the vibes right now.
I was doing a little research in the background. The 32 car in 2005 was driven by Bobby Hamilton Jr.
I thought so. We used to broadcast for him, actually. He is an avid iRacer. We've broadcasted a good bit for Bobby Hamilton Jr. I thought so, but I didn't want to say it and be wrong. I still got his phone number in my phone.
After 2005, Hamilton Jr. was replaced by Travis Quapple in 2006 when they started struggling for performance a little bit more. And obviously that 32 car, at least the team that it ran for, started to collapse a little bit over the course of the seasons. And, you know, by the end of the show in 2011, 2012, it had been getting absorbed into other entities like Go Fast Racing and such.
I feel like I need to have J-Ski handy for all these broadcasts this season.
That would be preferable, actually. Or Racing Reference.
I stand by J-Ski. I've been going to J-Ski since, like, 2010.
2009.
Yeah, one of those. Honestly, maybe even earlier. Maybe around, like, 08. But I don't know. Regardless, the 48 up here, not for position. That's Conover. He is 2 laps down. The rest of these guys are for position. Chase Durheim is checked out by a second. There you see him leading the field in that number 16 Ford Taurus. Cody Reeder. He's an interesting one, and that is a great paint scheme on that Ford. Of course, would have been a Dodge in 2005, but we don't have the Dodge on iRacing. iRacing, I challenge you to add it very, very soon. That'd be nice. But regardless, Cody running third, starting to pull up on Hunter Sr. This guy started 27th. And Zach, I know we're still pretty early in the race. This is a guy to consider for driver of the day. He's already gained 24 spots. Looking to add to it.
Definitely moved up through the field. You would think he's going by for another position here, but that's Conover racing to get his lap back. Slots right behind the 48 car. Now the car in front of the 48, that's Hunter Sr. That is for position. That's for the second spot. Gotta give credit where credit's due, and I share your sentiment. That is a driver that we could nominate for driver of the day. See a couple of cars moving up through the top 10. I see Ruben in the 77. He's moved up into the 9th spot.
You see driver 77. He's just passed Kevin Baumler. Baumler looks now to the inside. Skavnicki runs behind.
You know, I feel like there are a lot of people out there in the world that look at NASCAR style racing and say, you know, it's just a bunch of guys going in a circle, it's just a bunch of ovals, it's just a bunch of left turns, but it's boring racing, it's too spread out. I mean, I love NASCAR racing. I love it with a passion. As much as the faults that it has, as everything does, this style of racing is so immensely great to me. There's so much that you can take away from it. They've gotten spread out, obviously, and it does get a little bit hard to make talking points at times about certain things, but that gives us a talking point right there. Big shot to the back bumper from the 11 to the 21. But it's what I love about this racing, Andrew. It's so close quarters. It's a contact sport. I love racing.
I share the sentiment, Zach. Don't worry. That was a shot from Christenberry to Kite in the 21 car. Now you see him fan out a little bit down the backstretch. Ronnie Norman joins the fight here for 6th position. Christenberry driving that number 11. Of course, that was driven in 05 by a mix of drivers. I mean, Terry Labonte, Jason Leffler had already departed that car, so Labonte, Yaley, and Hamlin shared that seat throughout 2005. But, you know, I think, Zach, that there is certainly an element of simplicity to oval racing that makes it great. I think that is one of the things to love about it, that it is, sure, technically it is a bunch of big, mean NASCAR stock cars going in a circle for a couple of hours. Yes, there is an element of that it is simple at its roots. But there's so much nuance, and I think maybe at one point in time, it really was a bunch of rednecks in cars they modified in their garage, and they just went and played in the dirt for a little while. I think at its core, yes, that's how NASCAR started, but in 2005 even, let alone now in 2026, there's so much more going on, so much more nuance, and look at that, in the wall, the 4-car, Senior grabs it there, Cody Reeder's going to have a run, but it's that nuance that makes it so entertaining to us as, you know, fanatics of the sport and members of the industry. As Reeder goes for a dive here on the 4, that'll be a pass made for 2nd place. So long story short, Zach, it's simple, it's also very complicated. Does that help clear it up?
you want the short answer, we love racing. Sorry, had to say it. Just had to. But I think our love for racing, just to build on the point a little bit more, is very much taken to a whole new height, especially with the nostalgia level that we cover here in this series. I mean, we spent a good chunk of the broadcast just recapping NASCAR history. We did the same thing last week at Daytona. I mean, looking at the cars that we have running up the front right now, you have the 16 running up front, used to be run by Greg Biffle. Chase Durheim is in it. You have Cody Reeder in the 19. If I'm not mistaken, in 2005, that was Jeremy Mayfield.
Yes, sir.
In that number 19. You've got the 8 car up at the front, obviously, used to be run by Dale Earnhardt Jr. You've got the 21 that at the time, because same team, Wood Brothers, oh, geez, who was in the 21 in 2005? Thank you.
Yeah, so if you want me to go down the list here of who's in what spot.
We might as well.
Back in 05, right now, it would have been Greg Biffle leading over Jeremy Mayfield. Then either John Andretti or Mike Skinner in third. Dale Jr. in fourth. The 04, I think, might be one of their fantasy cars, unless it was a part-time car that I'm skipping over right now. That might be one of their kind of mix things up, fantasy side of things. Actually, no, Bobby Hamilton. He drove the 04 in one race. Does not seem like it was for Morgan McClure Motorsports, though. But Dale Jr. in fourth. The 04 is kind of a fantasy car in fifth. Ricky Rudd in sixth. Terry Labonte or J.J. Yaley or Denny Hamlin in seventh. Robbie Gordon, 8th. The 81 wasn't a Cup car in 05, so we'll skip on by there. Bill Elliott would have been running 10th. How about in 11th? That would be Casey Kane. Then I believe Travis Quapple in the 77. Elliott Sadler in the 38. The 15 would be, of course, Michael Waltrip in 14th. The 02 is kind of, again, where they've stretched things out a little bit, so we'll skip on by him. The 42, of course, would be McMurray, wouldn't it? Yeah, Jimmy McMurray in the 42. Then Bobby Hamilton Jr., Tony Stewart, Dale Jarrett, Scott Riggs back in 20th, Kyle Busch in 21st, Matt Kenseth 22nd, Kyle Petty, Ryan Newman. Of course, the 3 wasn't run back in 2005. He runs in 25th. It'd be Jeff Burton back in 26th. The 14, again, kind of a stretch of the truth in 27th. Jimmy Johnson, that'd be a big story. 2 laps down in 28th. That would be huge.
That would be huge, considering 2005 was the start of Jimmy Johnson's dominance in NASCAR. While he all did not win the championship that year, he put up some impressive results, as he did through the majority of his year that year in 2005. 2006 is when he started that legendary 5 championships in a row run. But, Andrew, fun fact, I can name every single NASCAR champion, NASCAR Cup Series champion that is, from the previous year, 2025, all the way back to 1992.
I won't challenge you on that today, maybe sometime soon, but I will say the 04 of Skinner is moving forward nicely. He is still in the top 5, working here on the 48 of Conover as the 4 gets a run. Hunter Sr. down low on Cody Reeder. Turn 3 now for these guys. Pit stops are looming, just a handful of laps away. I mean, literally a few laps for these guys. They can pit really at any point in time. And we've got ourselves a battle for second. Senior loose off the corner. Reeder looking low, looking high. Brady Moat sitting just behind. That's a satisfying onboard.
Inside. It's a very satisfying onboard. Inside of the 19 of Reeder, trying to take the line away. Gets tight, pushes up. 19 tags the wall. They keep it straight. They keep it green. They keep it rolling.
And how about this 21 car? Donald Kite doing some work here today. Started 36th. Way deep in the field. He is working that 21 car. He's doing a really good job. Up into 5th, just past Skinner, as Ronnie Norman's going to pit in the number 7. He's going to hit the pit lane here. This is 27 laps in for the 7. Wayne Sparks also going to pit. So 27 laps for each of them. Durheim now is on to lap 28 of the run. So really, the window is open for all of these guys at really any point in time. Durheim, though, with a 2-second lead, what's he going to do?
He's going to hang tough out front right now.
No pit there from the 16, or the 4, or the 19, or the 8, or the 21, or the 04, or the 11, or the 81, or the 91, or the 9. None of the top 10 pit that lap. Here we go. We got a taker. It's the 42 of Cody Smith, and he's going to be followed by a handful of cars. Looks like Scavnicki will pit in the 38, but that's about as far as it goes this time around.
Everybody relatively holding position, staying on the racetrack.
And we're about to hit halfway.
That we are.
Let's see. Is this going to be the lap for Chase Durheim?
32 coming to the pit lane, I'm hearing.
No pit there from the race leader. He continues on. Most of the rest of the top 10 continues as well. You had the 32 is coming. That's Kyle Tubb. So he's going to hit the pits.
You know, ironically, speaking of the 32, I decided, Andrew, that I'm going to have my handy-dandy trusty spotter's guide pulled up for the 2005 season in the 32 car. While, yes, it was Bobby Hamilton Jr. for 2 races, Ron Fellows was in that car.
For road courses, yep. That makes sense. I've actually got JSK pulled up, and I see that right there on my other monitor. Durheim hitting the pit lane. That's going to kick off a whole bunch of cars hitting the pits. Here they all come. Durheim, Senior. Looks like that's going to be Kristen Berry in the 11. It is. Then the 77 of Ruben. Looks like the 02 maybe of Hoy. It is. And the 10. I forget who that is, actually. That's Bettini, of course. The new race leader, Cody Reeder, takes over here on lap 74. I expect the rest of these guys, for the most part, to come in this time around, Moats and everybody else. But Reeder, he pitted 4 laps later than those guys. He can go a little bit deeper, I think. And yeah, Moats coming in. Everybody coming in.
Big sends down into the pit lane. Connor. Wow! Is he going to get a speeding penalty for that? Oh my goodness.
I don't know, but that'll wake you up. There you see Housden hitting the pit lane and some more coming in behind.
No black flags. How about that?
There's your race leader. He's going to keep going just a little bit longer. Cody Reeder now leading the race. Dustin Kleba works off of turn number 2. And Brad Fulham stays out. So all of the Evernham cars still running. I expect Kleba and Fulham to pit this time. I think Reeder might go a little bit deeper. Brian Jones also pitted a little bit later on. He can go a little bit longer as well. And actually, all of the Evernham cars are going to pit. Every single one of them. That's going to bring in Gladulich as well.
I heard somebody saying there was a speeding penalty in a drive-thru. I'm trying to do some digging on that. I'm not seeing any black flags at the moment.
Oh, Brian Jones nearly just got sent into the corner by Wayne Sparks. Who you got?
Conover. Black flag. He did speed into the pit lane. And it looks like race control had accidentally cleared the black flag and rescinded the penalty against the 48, but he has since come over the radio and told race control that he did end up speeding. It was unintentional, obviously, but he will have to serve a pass-through penalty, which does not help still being 2 laps down.
And here's your current race leader. Once things sort out, of course, it'll be a different story. Chance Durheim actually just at the pit lane. He was second there for a moment, and will be for a couple of moments longer. But the 45 currently leading the race, Brian Jones, just got himself a lap lead. Actually got himself a second lap lead. He is running under the Richard Penny Enterprises banner, I believe. Actually, it lists him as Evernham, but I do believe he's under the Petty banner. Of course, the 45 would have been at this time. I think this is kind of an in-between ride for Jones, as he's got a paint scheme I don't recognize from Kyle Petty's days, but regardless, Jones currently leading. He has stayed out to this point. He's got a little bit longer on this run. He should be in, though, I think, by lap 80. By or on lap 80. Norman Emotes Here they go, fighting into turn number 3. This is currently for 5th. It will be for 4th once that 45 car pits.
Getting a lot more spread out as the green flag run continues. I think we're going to start seeing guys settle a little bit more in terms of saving tires, trying to hang on to their stuff a little bit more. I think we saw the majority of the aggression get taken away on these restarts. Now we're settling into runs, we're settling into green flag stops. This is our second green flag pit stop of this run, if I'm not mistaken. No, yes.
No, we had those cautions a little bit ago, where the 3 went flipping. So no, this is the first green flag stop of this run. Of course, it was in the middle of green flag stops earlier that we got that caution.
That's what
interrupted things, and so this is the longest run I think we've had now. Is Ronnie Norman and Jared Skinner will do some battle here down the back straightaway. This is for now 5th position, the 7 and 04. And Chase Durheim back out front at California. He's got a 2-second race lead, and one car is pitting again. No, that's Jason Steptoe. He's off sequence, so he is pitting for the first time this run, albeit from 7 laps down. It has been a day to forget for the 01, really a couple of weeks to forget for the 01 so far to kick off this 2005 season. Jared Skinner, and here we go. The 7 of Ronnie Norman down to his inside. They swap spots. Here comes Kite.
Hanging on that left side of that 7 car from Robbie Gordon Motorsports. And Kite's going to carry that 21 car through 3 and 4. Get clear of the 7. A low P6 for the 21.
He's looking good as this race goes on.
Yeah, he is. Move up front. That is Moats down to the bottom. He's passing
the 3. Colin Tucker, yep.
He is now 1 lap down. Got to give credit where credit's due to the 3 car, though. Only 1 lap down at this current point in time. Should we get a string of yellows or even just a really quick yellow, that's going to give him a chance to go down there and get some more repairs on that number 3 car. But he's doing a great job keeping it on the racetrack and doing his best to stay in it. I love it. You love to see the attrition.
Was it 96 at Talladega? As Kite nearly got in the left front there, the 3. Was it 96 at Talladega where Dale Earnhardt flipped, got back in the race? Daytona. Okay. I knew it was one of those Daytona, 2 places.
Rolled it back to pit lane. He said that I want to keep racing. They fixed the roof and they put the car back out there. And I won't lie to you, I thought the same thing when I saw him flipping, and I was trying to remember what year it happened.
I believe it was 96.
I think you might be right, but, you know, you're the boomer out of the 2 of us, so you probably know.
By a year. By a year. Well, a good battle now for Ronnie Norman and Kevin Balmer. Here they are, side by side, down the front stretch. That's Dustin Kleva just behind. Ryan Housen completes your top 10 at the moment. Of course, these guys embark on this longer run. Want to keep everybody abreast of what's going on here at Pit Stop TV the rest of this week. As this is just beginning the week of broadcasting here for us. Next up, tomorrow we head out to Watkins Glen International with the ARCA cars. That'll be for the BRB Sundance Pro Series. Race number 2 of their 5-race chase. And boy, Michigan was a wild one, a very much surprise winner in that race. Coulter Clark went to victory lane. Got to tune in tomorrow night and find out who wins at Watkins Glen and how things shake up. There we go, that's what I was going for. How things shake up in the BRB Sundance Chase moving forward. And then, of course, a double once again for us with the North American Racing League and the Sarah Pierce Fleet Service Super Series. On Thursday evening, we take GT3 cars to Indianapolis Motor Speedway first, and then super late models somewhere, we don't know where, but somewhere on the iRacing.com service later that evening for the Sim Auto Racing Association. And then, of course, next week we get right back to it here with the National Oval Racing Association Retro Cup Series. We're headed out west, or, well, we're staying out west, rather. Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Sin City coming up next for these guys. We'll be rolling the dice this time next week at Las Vegas. The sun is starting to peek out, Zach. You can see through the camera shots, we're starting to get a little more of a defined shadow for these race cars. The weather conditions as this race has gone on have changed very slightly. The track temp has come up, everything else staying about the same. Wind speeds 12 miles per hour currently out of the south. Still overcast skies. The ambient temperature has not changed a bit, but I mean, just by the eye test, Zach, I definitely feel like the fog is starting to burn off a little bit. I think that humidity has stayed the same, but the fog value has come down a bit. I mean, even here, this is a much better picture from the blimps. Much better look around the racetrack.
Yeah, I think we're starting to get into some much nicer California weather, some California dreamin' type weather. Man, I wish the sun was out a little bit more. But it's starting to clear up just a little bit more. We can see a lot more definition in the racetrack. As we've rolled past halfway, we're into the second half of the race. We've still got a lot of racing left to go and a lot of time to be made up. As you see the fight still for the second and the third spot, that's Hunter Sr. in that number 4 car, and he is currently being chased down by that number 19 of Cody Reeder in the third spot. You're riding on board with the 04 of Jared Skinner. He is currently sitting in the 5th spot trying to chase down Moats in that number 8 car, who is currently running 4th. They're all situated further back. You can see the fight for the 3rd and 2nd place position just up the road, but they're all chasing that number 16 car of Chase Durheim, who has a very commanding lead over this whole group, almost 3 full seconds. And I gotta agree with you, Andrew. He is showing quite a bit of speed, similar to how Greg Biffle showed back in the day. And Biffle actually finished, if I'm not mistaken,
he won this
second
race
in the championship. Well, he won the race, but in terms of the championship, he finished 35 points behind Tony Stewart in 2005.
There you go. Yeah, I think this is definitely a performative experience so far for the 16. This is showing a lot of what he's made of. And while you were talking about it there for a second, I was looking through the different I ratings in this field, and he certainly has a leg up. 4,700 is the I rating of driver number 16, and that certainly will explain some of the stats we see on the bottom of your screen currently. The driver behind Hunter Sr., well, they're battling now for that spot. Cody Reeder, rather, has a 3,900 I rating. For Hunter Sr., it's 3,400. For Brady Moats, we're looking at 2,700, 2,500 for Jared Skinner. But then Dustin Cleo back here in the 6th spot. He's looking at 4,200, so he's the closest so far. And even through the rest of the field, that's the highest I rating until you get back to Brian Jones. Brian Jones actually has a 5,800 I rating, so much higher than most of this field. Dalton Tucker, who's pitting currently, has an I rating of 4,900, and those are the highest. Vincent Arthur does have a 5,000 I rating, but he's, of course, out of the race. So, based on I rating alone, Zach, we should expect a lot more of the 16 towards the front of the field this season. I'm here for it. It's going to have some great looking paint schemes throughout 2005 here that we get to take a look at over the course of the season. Battle for 2nd and battle for 4th.
Up right here. Skinner to the inside of the 8 car. Big send down to the white line. Moats is going to try to hang tough. He's been doing really good on that middle groove, especially later in this run, being defensive, hanging on to that race car. He got a big shot off of turn number 2. Skinner's going to fall back in, but take another big lunge down to the bottom. That's the big thing here at Auto Club that makes it different to its sister track, which is Michigan Speedway, where you can take these big sends here at Auto Club, and they really pay off a lot more than they do at Michigan. It's not really working to Skinner's favor right now, though.
The two tracks are relatively similar, but yeah, this place is a lot flatter. It takes runs differently. Of course, you drive a bit different. It's a little more free typically, I feel like, as you saw these cars step out there through the corner again. I think you can send bigger runs at Michigan, but you can make a bigger difference with a dive here at Auto Club for sure. Definitely two very interesting racetracks and how they compare and contrast in a handful of ways. This is the battle for fourth still. We're bringing in sixth place, Dustin Kleba.
Bringing in a little bit more than just sixth place.
Yeah, Donald Knight, or Kite Rider. I did it. Yeah, I did it. Donald Kite. You see a pass, maybe. Skinner trying to get past the 8 car. No dice just yet. Now I want to bring attention to something I've just seen in the league Discord. As soon as we get a chance to do so, as one car is pitting, that's actually Kleba. This is early. He must be working some math to decide when to pit next. This is very early for the 9 car. Only 17 laps into the run. Let's stick with him here and see what the stop is going to be.
Up on the jack, 2 tires. Should see 4 here in a moment. And there it is,
wow.
4 tires.
I'm surprised by that. 4 tires this early in the run is a little bit strange. His teammate Reeder didn't pit. I'm a little confused.
Well, I don't really know what to say, to be honest.
Well, I know what to say. I'm going to have an image here in just a moment on the broadcast screen. Give me, I guess, a moment to... I didn't realize it was going to be such a large image. It was from a phone posted in the Discord chat here in the League Discord. Here we go. Get ready for this, Zach. This might be why Brian Jones, despite the 5,000 plus I rating, is running towards the back of the field. This is the setup he's on for the night. This is what he's got.
Goodness. Hey, you gotta make it work wherever you can. Is that a hotel room? Is that an ironing board?
It looks like it. It looks like he's on the go. Yeah, this is Ty Majeski stuff right here.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do. That's right. So despite the highest I rating in the field, Brian Jones is running 20th spot, and it has not been a great day for him so far. Started 25th. He actually just passed Cody Smith, who's in the pit lane. But he's got a lot of work to do, I feel like, in that 45. But he's got the highest I rating out here by a pretty large margin. So I wonder if we'll see more of him as the season goes on and he's back on his home setup. But for right now, Zach, that is not an ideal situation for him running on the ironing board. It's also not an ideal position in the race, but he might be taking it a little bit easier. You know, since he is on the ironing board, I could imagine that maybe he's running a much lower force feedback than he's used to. Is Ronnie Norman going to hit the pit lane in car number 7? So several drivers hitting the pits early here, trying to time their final couple of stops of the race. Meanwhile, battle for fourth.
The race. We still got at least one more stop in us.
Yeah, their final stops. Their final 2 stops.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Chase Durhan, pit lane, race leader. Hitting the pits. There goes the field on by. So he's going to pit 24 laps into this run, and this is going to split things up pretty evenly for Chase the rest of the race. I think that's why these guys are starting to pit a little bit earlier, try to get the undercut.
I don't know. I'm very on the fence about the undercut here at Auto Club just because of how heavy it can be on the tires on these race cars. I would want to have as much tire as possible going into the end of the race, especially if we have a green-white checkered finish.
Here comes Reeder.
You see here, Reeder into the pit lane.
I suspect more will come in this time. Maybe not. Pretty empty pit entry here. A lot of the leaders will continue. Hunter Senior, yeah, nobody's coming in here. So Hunter Senior now leads. There he is through turn number 2. There's Chase Durheim. So it's right about a lap that you lose in this pit stop. Durheim going to fall in behind the 4-car. Moats is back here racing with now the 9 of Kleba, who is pitted. Kleba pitted a little while before Durheim and is within 2 seconds. So this move so far, Zach, pitting 5 laps earlier, has actually worked out, as Hunter Senior now is going to pit. But here's the gap between Kleba at the line and Durheim. It's now down inside of 2 seconds. Kleba was back in like 6th when he pitted. So this is so far a net positive for the 9 car. And there's Cody Reeder just ahead. He might pass his teammate here. He will.
Reeder out of the pit lane. There goes Kleba on by the 19.
Yeah, net positive so far.
Position change.
Moats now leads. He should be in this time or next, I would think.
Skinner down to the pit lane.
Skinner running second. Here he is. Good to see Rusty Rafferty out in the YouTube chat this evening, saying that's some dedication from Brian Jones to run on that setup that he's using tonight, and I definitely agree with that sentiment. But inside of 50 to go, there is the 4 of Senior off the pit lane. He's going to blend in behind Cody Reeder and Dustin Kleba, the top 3. Chase Durheim, of course, ahead. And I would think we should see Moats, if not this time, certainly the next time around. I would think he pits. He will not pit just yet.
The pit lane this time.
Donald
10 car is going to follow him.
Kite continues. Here's Christenberry in the number 11. Chance Durheim still is not pitted. Dominic Bettini is still back here in the corner. He sounds like he is pitting. And he will.
You know, that 10 car, it's a little interesting to me. Because as I pull up my handy dandy roster that I have on my phone here, there were a couple of cars that, there are a couple of drivers that were in that car through the course of 2005. Where is it on here? I had it. Hold on. I had it.
Scott Riggs.
What?
Pit stop now. Brady Moats into the pit lane.
Oh, what's Scott Riggs?
Moats comes in. Kite comes in. There you see the 10 leaving. Should be 4 tires all around for these guys. Fulham comes in. And Nick Ham is coming into the pit lane. He's down on the apron. He will find his way to the pits in the number 88 car. And this now leaves Chance Durheim on the racetrack as the leader currently. Boy, a caution now would throw a wrench in the entire operation for just about everybody here tonight. That would shake things up for sure.
That it would. This late in the run, things are starting to take further shape.
Chance going to go around again. He is trying to stretch this fuel out as long as he can. You know, Zach, this could give him an opportunity maybe to take 2 later. Caution, there it is. Brad Fulham, turns 1 and 2. I was just a lap off. How about that? Can you believe that, Zach?
No, sir, I cannot. Cannot. Coming out of the pit lane, the 91.
Brad Fulham up through the gears on the apron. Gonna have a problem here, just trying to get back up to speed. It is difficult on cold tires, I will say that. Just gets loose down there. Slides.
I think he gets the right rear onto the banking.
See if we can get a better view. He just started getting loose. Glad that nobody hit him. I'm honestly surprised with some of the non-calls that we've seen lately, Zach, that was a caution. But there it is. Caution flag for the 91. This is going to be a gift of all gifts to Chance Durheim, potentially. Of course, a lot of the field did just pit, so will they be hesitant maybe to hit the pit lane again? That's certainly a possibility. But it is going to trap at least a couple of cars a lap down. Jones, Fulham, Bettini, and Ham all trapped 1 lap down as a result of this. Rochelle will be trapped 2 laps down. Conover now 3 laps down, and Tucker 5 laps down.
I would assume a couple of guys, a few guys, some of them have to be staying out on the racetrack to get some laps back. I know it's a risk right now just because we're so late into the run.
Well, let's see. Who's going to pit here? Here's the 17. He obviously has to. Is the 16 going to pit? Yes. Oh, my goodness, Zach. This is a huge gift to Chance Durheim. This puts him right back in the race. There will be some drivers who stay out. I saw the 15, maybe, no, the 81 of Baumler. He stayed out. It looks like the DEI cars are staying out because the 8 stayed out as well. But a lot of cars are pitting here. This is a huge, huge break for Chance Durheim specifically.
And a bunch of cars are staying on the racetrack right now to get laps back at the moment. We now have 23 cars on the lead lap. The first car 1 lap down at the moment is Nick Ham in the 88, with Kyle Rochelle right behind him in the 15. So it's a big break for some guys that are trying to get their laps back right now. Said Baumler stayed out on the racetrack. Yeah, he's the only one really that stayed out on the racetrack. Well, no, Moat stayed out as the race off pit road happens. Donald Kite stayed out. 33 stayed out. So the top 5 realistically have stayed out on the racetrack. We've got no black flags coming out of the pit lane.
Fuel only for Jared Skinner. He'll line up 6th. Hunter Sr., I believe, took 2. He's going to line up around 7th. Kevin Baumler, though. Kevin Baumler going to stay out. Brady Motes, Donald Kite, Ryan Housden, and Jeremy Rubin also stay out. So yeah, the 3 DEI cars that are here today, or at least that are still in the running, I suppose, Baumler, Motes, and Housden all stay out. The 81, the 8, and the 15. Baumler will have the race lead. And Zach, with that, I think we ought to dial up driver 81 and see what he's thinking behind the wheel as he's about to go back green flag racing in just a moment. Now with the race lead in his hands. Kevin, we saw a lot of you at Daytona last week, but now we're on an intermediate. You've been in the top 10 a good bit, and now you're staying out. Why?
I don't exactly know. I'm dealing with a little bit of a flu or something going on here, so just trying to do something that gets me out in clean air and maybe make me a little happier.
Hey, that's a way to do it for sure. You got some teammates, of course, up here with you. I'll try to keep you from talking too much, but Brady, of course, Ryan, going to be up here with you on these older tires, but really not that old, right? I mean, you guys should be able to hang on at least for a while. Everybody has to pit again.
Yeah, I think everybody will have to pit again, and me and Brady and Ryan are on like 3-lap older tires than everybody that pitted there, so we should be fine. If anything, we'll lose a couple spots here and then be able to race it out after the last pit stop.
And of course, we keep gawking over the fact that these cars are just so much fun at racetracks like this. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you rate this car track combo?
Oh God, I'd probably say like an 8 out of 10. I'm having a blast out here, sliding around, and it's a ton of fun.
Well, we certainly hope you get to feeling better very, very soon. Hopefully, certainly by Las Vegas next week. And in the meantime, I'll let you have at it for the restart here.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
And of course, Baumler going to lead us back to the green in car number 81. He's got his teammate Motes right behind, who I think could be a contender to win this race. Kite even might be a long shot, but to have them out front on this restart, the track position is certainly going to pay dividends. Let's see just how beneficial it is, Zach. Inside of 50 to go at California. Green flag is back in the air, and the green silk is waving. We're racing again at Auto Club Speedway. And one in the wall. It's the 0-2 Nick Hoy, or not Nick Hoy, Kane Hoy. 0-2 around. No caution net. There it is.
There it is.
This is going to help those guys that stayed out, I think.
That it is.
Fewer laps they have to defend.
These guys. It's going to give a bunch of these guys a bit of a reprieve as well. So hand over the free pass to Nick Ham in the 88. It's going to get him back on the lead lap.
So it sounds like the 0-2 might have been brought into Penske Racing after our team names were decided initially, but to begin the season, the 0-2 was listed as being under Score Motorsports. There you see Kane Hoy just got way loose on his own here. Off the restart, of course, old tires, we know that. Let's see the onboard.
It's interesting because the 0-2 was listed for Ash Motorsports in 2005. Ooh, there's the snap. There's the catch. I thought he had it there for a second, just put it back.
Yeah, that certainly is a little scary. I know it's not quite mega misses out there, Zach, but a couple of closer ones for sure in that one.
They were.
So here you see the 0-2. This is off of turn number 2. Got up in the wall, got loose. Switch back here to the 45, and, well, that was a little bit late, but you see my point, right? There's the car down low, and it's not quite a Murtis mega miss, but it is close. This is live. Our leaders are trying to catch up to the pace car, and the pits have opened back up. Skinner is back down the pits. So Skinner has decided to come in after staying out last caution, and the field hasn't even caught the pace car. This could be very detrimental to the cars that are pitting here, as Chase Durham on that restart went backwards. Chase is now 11th.
Oh, boy.
And the leaders are still trying to catch the pace car. I had an issue like this last week, actually, running the UFL race at Daytona, where the field had to go completely around the racetrack and catch up to the pace car, and it extended the caution a little bit. And there you see Senior has just left, or rather Skinner has just left the pit lane, and he has gone a lap down. Yeah. Well, no, Skinner hasn't. There's Skinner. But Ham and Jones have gone a lap down. There's Jones.
It's interesting because Ham just got the free pass, too. I mean, that is...
Okay, Ham has just unlapped himself, so he's going to get back on the lead lap. But Brian Jones, I think Race Control might have to step in here. Yes, he is going to go by the leader. But he will stay on the lead lap, and I would imagine it'll be the same for Bettini and likely Hoy as well. This is certainly a stressful situation when this does happen.
Catching up down the back straightaway as well. Well, he's letting cars go, so I think he's slotting back in line.
Want to give a big thank you, of course, to our partners with this series. The big partner this season, Harpoon Design, helping out with the NORA Retro Cup Series, of course, by Harpoon Design. And Brantley Rodden, of course, does a lot of great work on the iRacing service, does a lot of the conversions of current NASCAR paint schemes over to the Trading Paints platform so that iRacing members far and wide can race them on their sim. I certainly appreciate the work that goes into all of that. Brantley's a fantastic designer, and I certainly have a lot of respect for what he does. Also, a big shout out this season to our new power ranking sponsor. Again, Clark Contracting. This is how they looked coming into tonight with Hunter Sr. on top. Now, this is certainly going to shake up a lot, especially if they finish anything like they're running now, Zach. This graphic will almost be entirely different, I think, when we get to Las Vegas next week.
I'm inclined to agree. I think it's going to be completely different going into Vegas. I think there's going to be some big shake-ups and shape-ups, we'll say. We're rolling into the restart zone, Andrew. We don't have a lot of racing left to go. Not a lot of time to make some moves, so if you want to get it done, you got to get it done now.
This is the most lap traffic we've seen all day. How will the leaders deal with it? Of course, single file restarts. All the leaders on the top of the racetrack. Lap cars down low. Restart zone. And we are racing once again at Auto Club Speedway. Just inside of 40 to go now in SoCal. Old tires mixing around up front. Moat's getting after Baumler. Housden getting after the 12 of Rochelle, who is a lap down. Rochelle's got to be careful here before the race leads, Zach. Teammates.
Fighting it out at the front of the field. Big run for Moats off of turn number 4. He's going to pull right up to the bumper. Oh, this is a sight you used to see back in the day, 2005. The noses were able to get so close together. Just past the emblem goes the rear end camera. And on the charge, Moats trying to pass up Baumler. It's not going to happen this time. We got a caution. Caution on the speedway. Spinning. Big wreck down the back straightaway.
Big crash towards the back. Reeder, Christenberry, and more. Christenberry into the inside wall. Nearly. He might have just got it. Cody Reeder in trouble back here. Some big trouble towards the back. The caution will fly. Just around 35 to go. There were certainly more cars involved, but it seems like the biggest issue was the number 11.
We had a fantastic green flag run, but cautions breed cautions, and that's about where we're at.
Oh yeah, it all happened way ahead of the 11. You see the 22 broadside, that's who the 11 hits. It seems like it may have begun between the 22 and 19, possibly.
And someone that I didn't know was still in this race, Craig Martin. He's 58 laps down. Looks like his day is probably going to be done, but I didn't know that he was still in the race. I thought he was done early.
Yeah, I thought he was out of it, but there you see the contact between Reeder and the 22 of Martin. Here's a look from overhead. Martin up top. Reeder just tracked out into him, and this is a big, big mess. Kleba gets a big piece of 32. Hood goes up on the 32 car. Pretty large accident, honestly, for this late in the race. Or 32 car. Kyle Tubb, this is not what he needed. That sucks. It does fly off at least. No, actually, okay, it reattached. That's still a lot of damage to that 32 car.
Some big time damage, but it's all fixable from what it seems like. Hoy right there in the 02 car manages to stay out of it. He was stuck up on the top line right against the wall. See him tracking out all the way up on top. He's on the top of the 3 wide. Just stacks up. Manages to miss it. How about Cheney right there in the 14? That's a nomination right there in my book for Murtis Esports Murtis Make a Miss moment.
I feel like the 42 even. Smith, let's ride on board with him. And you can let me know if you think it applies still. I mean, this happens ahead of him, and then he dives down, and oh man, snaking right on through.
So. I definitely think so. So take a look at that 14 car, though. That's definitely a big miss right there.
And so for Cheney, goes loose off the corner ahead of the 42 of Smith, and this all happens ahead of him. Snaking on through, gets down low, and gets on by it all.
Well out of the way for the 14.
Leaders have stayed out once again. This is going to be an interesting spot for them. They're getting closer to being able to make it if they were to pit now. Honestly, Zach, it wouldn't be a bad idea to pit now and save gas. Get the pit stop out of the way, out of this caution.
Why not hit your fuel window? Why not hit the fuel window, short pit, in a sense, take the tires, be faster over the short run, catch these guys and build that gap up for when they have to pit again. The only case you could realistically make in that regard is that these guys won't have to pit again because of all the cautions. And they're better on fuel than these guys are at the front of the field. But I like the strategy call. I like staying out. I think pitting under green is not necessarily going to hurt them in the way that it could potentially. I think this is all round the beneficial call at the moment. To stay where you're at, hang on to the track position, pit under the green flag, pit in your window, save a set of tires.
Well, if we get a caution, again, I think you have to pit.
If it's in the window.
It will. If we get another caution, it'll be close enough. I think you've got to come in and cover that strategy up. And again, these guys can run 29 laps. We're at 32 to go when we get the green flag. So I think that's definitely close enough. You gotta pit, get the fuel, get the tires, save a little gas, go to the end. Here we go. Green flag on the way. Let's watch this one from the fan cam one more time today at California. I've been to this racetrack. Man, I miss it. Green flag back in the air. 32 to go for the NORA Retro Cup Series. Conover mixing things up here. He's a handful of laps down. Tucker as well, but that 3 car is put back together. These lappers mixing things up with the leaders.
Conover can get a lap back. That will greatly help his race as we are nearing the end of this great race this has been. Honestly, I've been thoroughly enjoying it. 8 car votes down to the bottom to take second place away. And the 48 is moving. Still currently 2 laps down.
That wasn't second place. No, that was Moats for the lead.
That is true. That's a lap car right in front of him. Excuse me. That's
and
Hoy
now,
right there up the road.
As Conover tries to unlap himself, he's gotten 1 lap back, it looks like. As has Rochelle. Kite is going to take over second. He passes the 81. Housden now pulls up behind in 4th. The next car for position becomes the 77 back here in Jeremy Rubin. Behind him, it's Senior, then Chase Durheim, Dustin Kleba, Chance Durheim, and Cody Smith, your top 10, and they are racing for 10th spot. Smith side by side with Chance, then Ronnie Norman in tow. So this is still far from over here, Auto Club Speedway, but for right now, there's your race leader, the number 8, the Budweiser 8, at California leading the way.
Cars in the wall, down the back straightaway. The 3 of Tucker hit the wall, and a few cars behind him were scraping that wall as they go down into turn number 3.
This is for the lead.
To the bottom, trying to take it over.
Donald Kite got a really good run. And yeah, the lap cars are helping Moats out right now. He's able to draft.
At the same time, though, they're feeding him a lot of dirty air right now.
He's finding some clean air down there on the bottom. Oh, and Kite blinking. That's not what you want out of the 21 car. He's back. And you see the entire field down the back straightaway here. All following that red number 8. You know, Junior never really had too good a luck here at California. But this, oh man, this is a scene of dreams for me as a long-time Dale Jr. fan. This would have been, yeah, this would have been a good one. But mixing things up throughout the entire top 10.
It was 2004 that he got his concussion, wasn't it?
Oh man, I don't recall what year exactly he hit the wall, but I gotta say, Kite is blinking a ton right now, and drivers are gonna be very, very
cautious.
What's the word? Vocal about it. I would think Housden has got to be lighting up voice chat right now, commenting on the 21. He's that car ahead of this number 15 car. Really?
Nothing so far. I've been listening into driver radio just about all race. Nothing so far these last few laps. It's been actually, to be perfectly honest, Andrew, at this point in the race, it's been relatively quiet on driver radio right now. Nobody is talking. Everybody is honestly just locked in.
That's good to hear, actually. I like that. I like that about a league, to have clear comms and these guys able to just race. I like that. You know, I've raced in NORA before. Go back to, I believe, 2024. I took part in their truck series at the time. And, man, that was a great race. Had a lot of fun. Contended for the win at Darlington. But even then, it's a pretty respectful league. A lot of these guys have been in this league for a long time. They've raced together for a long time. A lot of respect shared out there within the league as we work on 25 laps to go, Zach, and you know what that means, don't you?
Huh?
25 to go, this next time by the stripe. Come on, man. Usually you're the one calling me out that we haven't gotten to it yet.
No. I'm pretty sure I knew what you said, but I had a slight technical error and I didn't even hear what you said.
Well, we have got to start thinking about the North American Racing League driver of the day. This guy's racing on now 25 laps to go. And if we look at positions gained here on the ticker on the left side of your screen, 34 spots for Kite, when he is here on the racetrack anyways. Ruben is up 25, Klebe is up 21, even Smith is up 16, even Moats is up 9 spots. I think that's decently respectable.
I think Kite has got to be the biggest gainer we've seen so far. 34 positions. Ruben up 25, Klebe 21, Smith 16. There's a couple of guys further down the running order that have moved up a couple of spots. Quite a few spots, actually. Mainly in the teens up there. It's nice to see a lot of these guys just moving through the field and finding what works.
Well, let's get to it, Zach. Who you got?
I gotta take Kite. I think he's gotta be an obvious pick for driver of the day. He's done a solid job to keep himself in the mix the entirety of this race. And I think it's worth a shout. He's done a great job. I think my next pick following that has got to be the car behind him, which is Housden, who we haven't really talked too much about. He was as low as 19th. He's about third right now, trying to chase down these leaders. He has not really been an all-round contender throughout the day. He's held around the top 10. He's been relatively contending in that midfield, but now as we get into the later stages of the race, he's showing that he's got the speed to win this race, and I think it's worth a nomination.
I think my first nomination may surprise some folks. Jeremy Rubin. Didn't see him at Daytona. Showed up here at Auto Club Speedway in California for his first start here of 2026, or 2005, however you want to look at it. Jumps into the Penske 77. Competitive from the get-go. It took him a little bit to get up here, but from 30th at the start, 35th at one point a little bit later on, he now runs here in the 6th position, has been top 5, still has a lot of great potential. I think for somebody we just didn't see last week and is lighting things up today, a big nod goes certainly to driver 77. Can you guess who I'm going to next?
The 8 car.
Absolutely not.
What?
No, sir. I'll give you one more shot here.
The 16 of Durheim?
Yes, sir. Chase Durheim. 74 laps led. That is just 1 lap shy of half of the prescribed laps here today at California. I mean, this is yeah, it's a lot of fog. I'm trying to find a decent angle. But that 16 car, 100% best here today. Oh, they're trying to crash ahead. Watch out. But Chase Durheim, I think, certainly has been the best driver here today. Oh, he's going to run over the 81 now. Wow. How did they not crash?
I don't know.
They're not done.
Right there. Cars in the wall behind.
4 wide.
Cars pitting.
4 wide across the stripe. The 42, the 81, the 9, the 77. They figure it out by turn 1. I'm going to keep that nomination for Durheim. The vote is going to go live over on YouTube. You've got to get to YouTube to vote. As Donald Kite now inside of 20 laps, trying to run that 8 car down and pass him. That's the struggle. Not just running the 8 down, but also passing Brady Modes. That's been the struggle so far for Donald Kite on this run. And these guys are nearing their pit stops.
I honestly thought that Moats was about to pit right there, hanging it on the bottom. But Conover's trying to do everything he can to stay 1 lap down at the moment. Moats down to the bottom. A couple of cars coming out of the pit lane. Kite to the middle, inside of the 48 car. If I was Conover, to be perfectly honest, I would just kind of hunker in, see if I can't roll for just a few laps, wait for these guys to take to the pit lane, because we already know, Andrew, that this top 4, they are going to have to head to the pit lane. They stayed out under the caution flag. They are not going to be good to the end. And Conover, big wiggle off of turn number 4. Kite gets down to the bottom line. He's going to roll all the way through and take over well and clear. I mean, he's not taking over the second spot. He was in it. But second in line in that group as Durheim heads to the pit lane.
He brings in the other Durheim, Brian Jones as well. So the 16, 45, and 17 all pit here. Everybody's still got to make a pit stop. So I think these guys pitting now, that's going to help them certainly bolt new Goodyear Eagles on the race car and go back out there and turn qualifying laps. That's the goal of those guys. I like the move. Pit a little bit earlier, get these new tires on, and start trying to either run cars down or run away from others. As Housden has a moment there with Tucker, and more cars are hitting the pits.
There's 77 of Ruben giving up that top
Skinner
10 position. There's the 04 Skinner. That Bobby Hamilton racing machine, not a fantasy car, Andrew. Bobby Hamilton Racing ran the 04 with Bobby Hamilton.
But
in that
not for Morgan McClure.
No, you're right. The 04 was part-time in 2005, actually.
And I don't even see a page for it on J-Ski as far as paint schemes go.
Wikipedia.
Well, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's on the team chart. I think they were trying to run that car a couple of times, but I don't think it really came together. As here we go, pitting and cautions out. Who's it gonna be? Brian Jones.
Oh no, he just pitted.
And those guys that had pitted, they are in trouble.
Those guys that didn't pit, oh boy, got a feel for Conover too.
I was just saying,
back 2 laps down.
I was just saying those guys that had just pitted have an advantage here because they're going to be able to run other guys down. This negates that. It gives the cars that had stayed out a free stop and completely changes the scope of this race. Here's Brian Jones off of turn 4, just got up into the 38 of Skavnicki. Wow, what a crash.
That's a big right there.
Great moves by everybody behind to miss those cars that were crashing, mostly the 45 of Jones. I mean, he just straight up ran up into the 38 car.
Oh.
Wow.
Now that is a moment where spotter says, not clear, outside quarter, outside number, door, there, wall.
Still outside. Yeah, that's not ideal at all. Here's a look at it again.
Still there.
Off the corner.
Still there.
Oh, man. Norman, that was close.
This is when the crew chief would hop on the radio and said, take it to the hauler.
And, of course, we'll catch up on pit stops here in just a second. Here's Ronnie Norman's look at it. He had just pitted. He's going to be trapped a lap down. Can we say it, Zach? Look at the screen!
Oh, well, sorry. I was also paying attention to pit stops. Yeah, no, I think that's a solid nomination right there.
I think so, too. I give you
I was paying attention to pit stops, too, because, like...
No, that's fair, and look at this.
Going on.
Yeah, look at this. This is inside of 15 to go now. This is what we wanted to get back to.
Conover's in the pit lane. He's 2 laps down, pitting with the leaders.
I think they're pulling a quickie yellow to get as many laps green as they can. So that will combine lap down pits and lead lap pits into the same run down the pit lane. Cheney's into his box. That brings Senior back in as well. 4 cars stay out. Those are Skinner, Rubin, Smith, and Ham. All back on the lead lap.
Drivers that just... Oh, yeah, they were laps down, weren't they? I assumed Skinner was on the lead lap. No?
I'm not entirely sure, but they are at least out front now. Regardless, having stayed out, I think they might have just been saved. I think they might have just been saved. They were probably going to go a lap down, though. And the timing of the caution just barely helped them. Who it's going to hurt, though, is Chase Durheim, of course. He's going to be trapped. Chance Durheim as well. He should get the wave around here, Zach, but... Man, the race that was saved for Chance Durheim by a caution is now tossed away by a caution.
I just don't even know what to say at this point. I mean, we're rolling into the later stages of this race. Obviously, we're going to go green with just over 10 laps to go. And there is the 16 stuck in the pit lane.
Long stop.
He was there for quite a while. I think he was repairing some of the damage from when he got into the 81 of Baumler.
That's
seconds
possible,
in the box.
Yeah, there's still right front damage on it.
It's double of what he should have spent in the race car. Or double what he should have spent in the pit lane. I don't know where I'm going with my words today. But Skinner's going to inherit the race lead. Followed by Rubin in the 77, Cody Smith in the 42, Dustin Kleba in the 9 with Brady Motes behind, then Donald Kite, Ryan Houston, Hunter Sr., Wayne Sparks, and Kenneth Cheney, our pole sitter, who spent majority of the race down a couple laps actually. That 14 car had damage early on. Now he's inside the top 10. Poised and ready to strike as, well, the field's a little bit spread out as they get squared away before the pace car takes a hard left turn and we turn them loose for what is going to be a restart with 12 laps to go.
Skinner is on 2 older tires and 2 very old left sides, it looks like. Rubin, 2 tires as well from the green flag stop. Smith is on 4 tires from the green flag stop. The first of the drivers who pitted under this caution will be the 9 of Kleba in 4th. Looks like he took 2. Motes, the first driver on 4, he will restart 5th in that number 8 ahead of Kite, Housden, Senior, and a bunch of the other players we've seen at the front earlier in this race. Here we go. 12 laps to go. Auto Club Speedway comes back alive. The green silk waving. Who's going to win this thing at Auto Club Speedway? Down the backstretch, the very bumpy backstretch here at Auto Club. Second place, Jeremy Rubin, already over a half-second back of the race leader, and he's got company to his inside. The 42 of Smith looks low, and 2 lap cars low, the 48 and the 3. That's going to halt things for the 77 as well.
Gotta wonder how long 2 tires is going to last against 4 tires. I can't imagine that it will last very long, but it's only going to last 11 more laps, and the gap continues to build. 7/10 of a second back to the 77 for Skinner in the 04. A little loose, a little sideways right there from Smith in the 42. That's going to allow Kleba in the 9 to take advantage and get down to the bottom line. He's going to try to side draft maybe a tad on that left rear quarter panel, but going down into 3, they'll be side by side. The lap car in front of Tucker is going to pull that 9 car down on the bottom, but the 77 will pull the 42 up top. They'll get single file in front, and I think Smith should have a bit of a clear advantage here, but Kleba's going to still try to hunker down on that inside line.
If this race manages to stay green, Zach, does anybody run that 0-4 down? I don't think so.
I don't know. He's over a second ahead now. Well, almost a second. Will be a second down the back straightaway. Right about... Well, no, big pressure. I tried to time it right.
Kleba was loose there off of turn 2. Still racing with Cody Smith. This for 3rd. Moats just behind in 5th. Then Kite, Housden, Senior, Sparks, and Cheney are top 10. Cody Reeder runs 11th. In the wall, there is Jeremy Rubin. That gives even more daylight to Jared Skinner out front as the battle is now on for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Yeah, look at them right behind. Kite and Moats, they're going at it trying to catch these three. See if they can't find some speed to get up there. We've got 9 laps to go here at Auto Club. 77 comes up in front of the 42. Look at Clevo with the run. Looks like the 77 of Rubin had to check up, hop out of the gas. That stacked up the top line. That brings in the 21 and the 8 car. So it's a 5-car battle right now for the 2nd spot. All 5 of these cars on the screen. Houston trying to come into the mix as well, but that just allows Skinner to get even bigger of a lead, almost a 1.5 seconds over these guys.
I think Kleba is easily the field's best chance right now to run down that 0-4. He's got tires, not 4, but he's got 2. He's got 2 at least, and he's trying to run down. I didn't think he'd get ahead of 3rd place this quickly, but let's see what he can do these last couple of laps here. It'll be 7 to go next time by. Donald Kite, by the way, just cleared for 5th over Brady Moats. That 21 car is looking good today. They stay side by side. Contact, Moats! Watch out! Watch out, the 8 car! Through the grass! Caution is out! It's not over, ladies and gentlemen. Wow.
And if your last name is Skinner, that is the last thing that you wanted to see.
Whoa,
Hello,
watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it. That was almost really, really bad.
That was too close.
That was almost really, really bad for a couple of reasons. First, where the 8 car spun, I thought he was headed down to the pit attenuator, Zach.
Little further forward than the attenuator, but you see coming up off the corner, just comes up, gets into the 21 a Kite.
If he didn't whip it back around.
Go to the attenuator.
If he didn't whip it back around, man, it was pit lane for sure.
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Jimmy Johnson's qualifying spin at Dover. Because he comes up, he gets loose, makes contact, comes down right here, she noses into the wall. Comes back around, she noses into the wall. Comes back around, she noses into the wall. Shades of Darrell Waltrip is who I'm trying to mimic right there. Obviously the wall's a little bit further away, but the pirouettes that he did in that 8 car very much mirrored. And hello, Newman!
That was close there for Kyle Tubb. But he was able to get on the binders and miss the number 8 car that was returning to the racing surface. And I do. It's been a minute. Haven't heard it in a while, but here we go. Pit stops again. A lot of cars pitting. Reeder let him in. Durheim continues. Even Moats is back down here. Norman is in. Fulham is in.
Shaping up for a late race restart.
The best these guys can line up is going to be about 13th spot. So let's see who lines up where when it's all said and done. There goes the 88 on by Nick Ham. 88 is going to have 13th. Durheim just gets out ahead of the 12 of Rochelle and the 19 of Raider. Rochelle still lapped. He is 2 laps down. And it looks like the lucky dog. Oh, wow. This is an important miss then for Kyle Tubb. He's going to be the lucky dog.
He's going to bring it back down to the security of the pit lane with the advantage he has over the pace car right now to get some more of that nose damage fixed on the 32 car. So the next car who would be eligible for the free pass would be Brian Jones. And he's got no nose on that race car right now. He just came out of the pit lane.
That's that 45 car. Yeah, he's had a rough day. I want to remind everybody of the setup, not the race car setup in the sim, but the setup physically with wheel and pedals that Brian Jones is working with tonight. Here you go. If you missed it earlier, here's another chance to see what Brian Jones is working with a 5,000 and was it 600 iRating? 5,800, 5,800 iRating for Brian Jones. So this might be why he's not been up front. Yeah, so this might be why he's not up front. This is an ironing board. This is a laptop. This is Certainly a unique setup for Brian Jones to work with here this evening in the 45 car. Let's hope we can get back through some of this field, though, even with that damage. Time will tell, I suppose, for car 45. At the front, if you're just joining us, we're in the final 5 laps of what is the California 300 for the National Oval Racing Association. We're into that one today. Lap cars have been now lined up at the back of the field, Zach. It's just leaders lining up single file to go back racing. This is a series using the 2003 NASCAR Cup cars, simulating NASCAR beginning in the 2004 season. That was their 2025 season for this series. Now it's 2026, and they're simulating 2005 with a few changes here and there. Adam Buzzio tuning in, glad to see you. Of course, Adam will be on track in the number 5 tomorrow night in the BRB Sundance Pro Series at Watkins Glen. We certainly highly recommend that if you're here tonight, you tune in again tomorrow night for the I Can't Drive 55 by RevSimShop.com. That's going to be fun tomorrow. But for now, it'll be 4 laps to go. It is. Here we go. 4 laps. Auto Club Speedway, 2003 NASCAR Cup cars. Jared Skinner, Dustin Kleba, Cody Smith, Jeremy Rubin, and Donald Kite, your top 5. Green flag, 4 to go. And a big restart for Skinner once again. He had to pedal it, though, off the corner. Kleba's got better tires. Some contact behind with Rubin and Housden.
4 wide might be. As the 5 of Sparks goes into it, no, they get doubled up. Going into 3, the fight up front. This is the fight for the race lead. To the outside goes Smith. Tries to see if he can find a way around the top side. Kleba falls in line, hangs onto the 2nd spot. He's trying as hard as he can to go chase down the leader, and this is not what you want to see if you're Kleba. You cannot be fighting like this. You have to get single file. You have to try and keep that momentum up to go and get that race leader. As Smith goes on by, takes that 42 to the 2nd spot, but the fight continues off of turn number 2.
It's the 9 versus the 42 and the 21. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They're allowing the 04 to drive away. Could it be a rewritten 2005 with Morgan McClure Motorsports sweeping the opening 2 races of the NASCAR Cup Series season? That's what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen. 2 laps to go, Auto Club Speedway.
Popsicle sticks in the air, and now the bump drafts are coming out in full force. Smith to the back bumper of Kleba. They pull about a 10th going down into turn number 1, but it's not going to make too much of a difference as they're getting quite a bit separated off of 2. They close a little bit more, but it's not going to make much of a difference down the back straightaway. They're all majority single file. The first side by side, that's Senior and Housden for the 5th spot. Rolling into 3, down to 4/10, just about 3/10 of a second, but off of turn number 4. Skinner in that 04 for Morgan McClure Motorsports is going to take the white flag presented by Whiplash Simcams. 1 to go for Jared Skinner. And he has got his sights set on a victory. He's just got to make it 4 more corners.
Less than 2 miles to go for driver 04. His teammate Hunter Sr. went to victory lane at Daytona a week ago. And now the Morgan McClure Motorsports number 04 just has to get back down into turns 3 and 4 and get back on the gas. Kleba sends it. He's trying to get there. Couldn't get there. Kleba's going to wash up, and certainly now. Off of turn number 4. The 4 at Daytona. The 04 at California. It's going to be Jared Skinner to the line. Incredible. It's...
What a win.
Wow. Wow. Look, I get these are technically even cars, right? It's a far cry from what the NASCAR Cup Series truly was in 2005. But there is no alternate dimension that I could have ever imagined that Morgan McClure Motorsports could have swept the opening 2 races of the 2005 NASCAR Cup Series. Certainly not with a part-time 04 car. And look at all of the congratulatory bumps and nods from all of his competitors around. It was Hunter Sr. a week ago. Today, Jared Skinner gets it done at Auto Club Speedway. What a show. Wow.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, Driver of the Day vote is still live. 8 votes out there on Driver of the Day. There's still so much left on the table. You have still a little bit of time to get your votes in, ladies and gentlemen. It's a shame we didn't have Skinner on that top 4, but for Driver of the Day. But hey, gotta give it to him. That's a win in its own books. It is a win in the books for the 0-4. What a job today.
A well-deserved celebration for Jared Skinner in the second race of this 2005 simulated season. Wow. All the Hendrick drivers out there, the DEI drivers, the Joe Gibbs drivers, the Roush drivers, the Evernham drivers, they are all put on notice officially. I am just blown away.
I think about the Carolina Hurricanes and the Storm Watch type of reference for how this race has played out. I mean, what a job. This has just been all around a great run by these guys.
It's going to be fun to talk to Jared Skinner, I think, here this evening. There you see, all with a similar, well, the same sponsor on those 3 cars. Of course, it's simulated 2005. These guys can take some liberties with their paint schemes and such. And you see Jared Skinner in victory lane at Auto Club Speedway. What a race, once again. I cannot believe what we've seen here over these last 150 laps. Let's go back and take a look at the unofficial race results here, Zach. I am still blown away. It's going to take me a while to comprehend this. I can certainly comprehend the Morgan McClure 4 winning at Daytona, but at California, that's a whole level of interesting, if you will, beyond Daytona. Jared Skinner gets it done here. Dustin Kleba in the second spot. Cody Smith, Donald Kite, Hunter Sr., your top 5. 3 rookies in the top 5, 5 in the top 10. Wayne Sparks in 6th, Ryan Housden in 7th, Jeremy Rubin, Kenneth Cheney, and Kevin Baumler in 10th. All of Morgan McClure Motorsports in the top 10.
Rolling outside the top 10 in the first car out, that 11th spot. That's going to go to Jacob Gladjulich. Bit of an unexpected one right there. I was not expecting to see the 20 car rolling up into the 11th spot, especially after the night that he had. But ends up getting it done. Dominic Bettini in the 12th position with Chase Durheim ending up 13th after we thought that he could be contending for the win tonight. But ultimately it ends up with a 13th place finish. Cody Reeder, who was also in contention for that win, he ends up 14th on the night with Nick Ham getting back on the lead lap to finish 15th. Ronnie Norman in that number 7 car for Robbie Gordon Motorsports, he finishes 16th. Brady Motes, after spinning off of turn number 4, running in that top 5, he ends up 17th on the day. Chance Durheim with the 17 car in the 18th position. Kane Hoy ends up 19th in that 02 car, and then Kyle Tubb ends up in the 20th spot in that number 32 car. Not too many cars left on the lead lap after that one, Andrew.
And back in 21st, you'll find the final of those cars left on the lead lap. That is John Skavnicki, who we saw in that crash off of turn 4 a little while ago. Brian Jones ends up the first car, 1 lap down, and in 22nd. Josh Conover disconnected early with connection issues, got back in, makes it to 23rd. I mean, all things considered, not bad. It's one of those points days. You're just accumulating points to have on the bottom level of your season. So certainly a necessary day for Josh Conover, but one he wants to forget. Kyle Rochelle, same deal there. Was great at Daytona, had some flashes of brilliance here today, but locked back down there, 2 laps down, 24th spot with Brad Fulham in 25th. Dalton Tucker, certainly want to see more out of him. We expect him to be contending for wins, but today was not meant to be. Jake Christenberry in the 27th spot, Jason Steptoe, PJ Bazowski, and Craig Martin among the many early exits.
Just a few more exits behind them. you hate to see it for a lot of these guys because it's such an early wreck that took them out. LJ Hernandez, that 31st position. He had a wheelbase break, actually. He didn't get taken out in those early wrecks, but Christopher Heights did, and so did Vincent Arthur with Matthew George behind them. That's 31st through 34th. That 28 car, that NASCAR Thunder 2004 paint scheme. Just hate to see it for Nick. He had such a good run going and then ends up getting taken out in that, what was it, that turn 3 incident, if I'm not mistaken. John Border in the 36th position in that 43 car, Logan Neal, and Joseph Anguar in that 38th position. Didn't even turn all but 2 laps and ended up getting himself knocked out of that one. But that's your full 38 car field, Andrew. What a race. Just, that's all I can say is what a race. Same as last week. What a race.
An incredible start here to this season of racing for the NORA Retro Cup Series, and they were all chasing the Morgan McClure 04. Jared, can you believe that we're saying that? The Morgan McClure 04 just won at California. Obviously, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with all season, but how did you make this one happen?
Man, that was just a lot of luck and pit strategy. Right before that caution came out, I think it was the second to last one. I went into the pits and decided I was going to take 2 right sides and top off so I could get it to the end and pray and hope for a top 5. And then the caution came out right as I was exiting. I got out of the pits and it all played out perfectly. I ended up taking the pole from there, and that was all she wrote.
Zach and I kept theorizing about what the perfect strategy would be at several points in time. It ended up being that for you, it was to pit on whatever lap that was and just be out front when all of the chaos happened there towards the end. Are you surprised we got those cautions after that long green flag run?
A little bit. I'm not surprised that we started getting more of them after that first one came in, after the green flag run, because cautions breed cautions sometimes. But, I was just like, man, guys, I just want to finish this.
And this is a great way to get the season started, of course, not just for you, but also for your teammate, Hunter Sr. with the win at Daytona a week ago. Now for you here at California, 2 wins for Morgan McClure Motorsports. Again, a sentence I did not think I'd be saying. Where does this take you guys now for the rest of the season? I know, obviously, we talk about all the real paint schemes and who drove what car and everything, and it's a far cry from what it actually was in 05, obviously. I mean, these are even cars across the field as opposed to, Hendrick and Roush and Gibbs all having the best cars. So a big difference there, but we still considered you guys underdogs.
Yeah, I don't think Morgan McClure was really that relevant in the mid 2000s like this. I think their heyday was in the mid to late 90s, and that was about it. Early 90s when they had Sterling and Bobby Hamilton Jr. and all them, Mike Skinner, all those guys driving for them. But man, Hunter and I would love to see Victory Lane quite a few more times this season, try to finish it out strong.
And of course, your teammate, kind of Cheney, I'll keep this one short, but Cheney, he had a great start. Obviously, things went wrong. Is it Las Vegas now next up for him to try to get him a win and go 3 for 3 for the team?
Yeah, Kenny's a fast driver. He just ran into some bad luck tonight and just couldn't fully recover from it. I would see him up front, and you're probably going to see him in Victory Lane quite a few times this season.
Gotta watch out for Morgan McClure Motorsports. That's awesome. Jared, thanks for your time. Congratulations. What a day.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
He gets it done here this evening, Zach, and he gets it done over the 9 car. Multiple times, I thought the 9 was going to have something for the 04, those last handful of laps. He just could not get clear of Cody Smith and Donald Kite. He comes home second.
And he does, coming home in the second position. Dustin Kleba, man, we thought you would have the best advantage to go up there and go grab it. You had the best tires before that caution came out. What do you think you could have done differently to go up there and take that win away? You tried to send it in there turn 3, but didn't quite get it done at the end.
Yeah, if I would have dug into the talent box, might have been able to pull out the win, but you'll learn pretty quick. My style to be aggressive at the end, it's just not really there. I think if I would have had, 2-3 more laps under green, I might have been able to make him a little bit nervous and get closer there to get him loose and race it out. But I mean, kudos to Jared. He crushed it at the end. He had a perfect start and didn't make any mistakes. I needed one more mistake maybe, and I could have made it interesting. But no, he did a great job. Cody and I going side by side there at the end definitely didn't help, but he had a huge run and nowhere to go, so he had to do what he had to do. And overall, we kept all four wheels on the ground the entire time, and the majority of the fenders are untouched. So hey, we'll take the second place.
Absolutely. Gotta be content with the second place finish, I'll say. It was definitely an up and down race in your favor, I will say. You had shades up at the front, you had shades in the mid pack, and the tire strategy and the fuel strategy all played into it. Do you think, for all intensive purposes, that maybe there would have been instances where just fuel only would have made a difference, or do you think the tires were just that powerful as the race went on?
Yeah, it's tough to say. I could have maybe tried staying out there at the end and maybe not coming into pit and see if track position could get me. But I looked at the end there. My right sides were low 80s. My left sides were low 90s. And I ended up taking two. And Cody just got super lucky. And I think Jared did too, where they were able to pit right before the caution came out. And they just kind of had it wrapped up from that point. But yeah, up and down day. I really do think I had probably one of the stronger long run cars. I got caught under that it was either first or second yellow, where I was the lucky dog, and we had that long green run, and I drove from 26th to about 7th or 6th, I think, all under green. So once I did that, I realized that, hey, maybe I do know how to turn left at a high rate of speed and can get up here. And then it was, the yellows just, every time a yellow came out, I thought it was going to work in my favor. And we got a lot of talented guys out here like we do now. It's tough to get an advantage on everybody. And there's just a lot of strategies that happened today, and it was hard to get an advantage. And man, I don't know if you guys saw Chase coming off of, I think it was turn 2 on one of those restarts. He was flat sideways, and I think I waved to him through the window net. But just with the tire strategy, fuel strategy, everybody pitting on different cycles, it turned into a pretty wild race.
That it did. It certainly created some chaos, I will say. But you guys hunkered down. You did a great job to keep us on our toes. I'll say I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, but fantastic race, stupendous job, and congratulations on the second place finish.
Yeah, thanks, man. Happy I get to hear your voice in my ear. That must mean I must be doing something right. So happy to have you guys on here this season. Watched your guys' work for a long time, and you guys knock it out of the park every single week and every single race. So can't be happy enough to have you guys on board. And huge shout out to Harpoon Designs. I know they're a big driving factor in getting you guys in here as well. So big shout out to them, and just all my teammates, Cody and Brian and Brad. I think all of us ran into some type of bad luck tonight, but hey, I think we all stayed out of the infield care center, so we'll take that for a win and come back for next week.
Absolutely. Your second place finisher on the night, Dustin Kleba, and what a stupendous job he did, Andrew, to keep it clean, keep the nose clean, and we'll just keep himself in contention on this one.
Meanwhile, for the second week running, Cody Smith in the mix of things here at the end of one of these races. I know, Cody, you had some strong feelings about Daytona a week ago, but this is certainly a good way to continue your season, especially while that 3-car has some trouble. So third place tonight, how does it make you feel?
Man, it was so much fun tonight, ripping the top. I think me and Brady probably ran the highest of anybody out there. Passed a lot of cars tonight, had the strategy fall my way at the end, and come home with a podium, so I can't complain about that.
And of course, while it may not have gone the way you wanted a week ago at Daytona, it was good points tonight, great points. This is starting to shape up like you, along with those McClure cars, might be in the running for the early advantage here in this season-long, well, not quite season-long points format, but it's certainly the opening 26 races. You get to the chase. You're in good shape. How do you attack the rest of these races now, having such a good foundation?
Continue to be aggressive, but consistent. Last season, I was aggressive, but there'd be a lot of races I didn't finish due to that aggressiveness. So if I could just hone it in a little bit, keep putting top 5s together, top 3s, a win's going to come my way eventually. So just keep finishing races, keep finishing good, and see where it takes us.
And hey, I want to put the schedule up on screen here for all of us watching. Las Vegas next up, then Atlanta, Bristol, Martinsville, Texas, and so on. What track do you feel like is the best shot to get the 42 in victory lane?
I finished second last season at Vegas. Love that track, and so I'm hoping we can get the victory lane next Monday night. That's the goal. So mile and a half are my bread and butter. I'm not looking forward to Martinsville. There's no way I finish in the top 20 there. Can't stand that place. But if we can just finish well at the mile and a half, we should be all right.
There you go. One more look at the NORA Retro Cup schedule this evening. Combined here with Cody Smith, maybe calling his shot. Las Vegas next week. One to watch. We'll keep an eye out for you.
Appreciate it, guys. It's a great broadcast as always.
Appreciate the kind words from Dustin and Cody here at the end of the race, end of the broadcast, Zach, and certainly glad to be here this season. I know it all happened very, very quickly last week at Daytona. We've had a little more time to get things in place. We had the car specs on screen earlier, and we're going to keep adding to this thing, I think, through the course of 2026 and make some cool things happen with the NORA Retro Cup Series. I'm excited. You know, I've talked back and forth with Josh Conover for years about getting the National Oval Racing Association on Pit Stop TV. It's finally happened, Zach, and you know, this has been a lot of fun to get things started. Again, a big thank you to Harpoon Design making it happen. Of course, a big thank you as well to Clark Contracting. But, Zach, all that said, we need to award today's North American Racing League Driver of the Day award. And I think this is really fitting, really cool. It's going to go to the 21 of Donald Kite. Can you believe that?
No, I actually can't. That's a great job for him. I nominated him, didn't I?
I believe so, yeah. I believe you got Don. Yeah, because he was up 30-some spots. He started back in 36th, finished 4th. So up 32 spots or whatever there at the end. That is a big, big deal. So congratulations to Donald Kite. He certainly is on our radar now a lot more than he already was. And I think Hunter Sr., you know, Zach, if we go back to the Clark Contracting power rankings for just a brief second, I think Hunter Sr., we didn't know what to expect after Daytona last week. Now we know to expect him towards the front. He finishes 5th. He, far and away, best of the rest of these drivers on this graphic. So I certainly expect Senior to be the top end of the power rankings once again next week. We'll have to see, though, when we get to Las Vegas, and there's certainly a lot between now and then for us here at the channel. Zach, here's a preview of the next few broadcasts on the channel. Let me bring that back up. Hang on, I was going for this graphic to add to it. Of course, tomorrow night, the BRB Sundance Pro Series. That's going to be a lot of fun. Road course racing at Watkins Glen International. I'm excited for that. And then Thursday, that typical doubleheader fashion now between the North American Racing League and Sarah Pierce Fleet Service Super Series. GT3s at Indianapolis, and then a mystery track once again for the Pierce Fleet Service Super Series with the super late models on track somewhere on iRacing, but we don't know where until we get there. Zach, got a lot of places to keep up with everything Pit Stop TV.
That we do. You can always follow along with all of the great action here at Pit Stop TV. All of the social links down below, pitstoptv.com, facebook.com/pitstoptv, instagram.com/pit_stop_tv, youtube.com/pitstoptv1, I'm jumping ahead, tiktok.com/pitstoptv1, twitch.tv/pit_stop_tv, instagram.com/pit_stop_tv, and x.com/pitstoptv_. Lots of great places to follow along with the great racing here at Pit Stop TV.
And before we depart for the evening, a big thank you goes out to all of our partners, Whiplash Simcams, MXWraps.com, ATVO, Murtis Esports, CC's Business, and the North American Racing League. Thank you so much for having us, NORA and Harpoon Design. It's been a pleasure. And boy, I am so excited now for the rest of 2026 with the NORA Retro Cup Series. What a great start. Morgan McClure Motorsports cars in victory lane at Daytona and California. A long ways to go, though, in this 36 race season. Zach, thanks for being here. Everybody, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Las Vegas next up for this series. Otherwise, join us tomorrow for the BRB Sundance Pro Series at Watkins Glen.